It was over 90 degrees in Boston today as we welcome you to this compelling first-round series in the Eastern Conference with another sellout here at the Garden. The defending NBA champion Boston Celtics, the 2 seed, are tied at 2 with the 7th-seeded Chicago Bulls. This is Kevin Harlan with Doug Collins and David Aldridge. And welcome to the playoffs on TNT. Now tonight's starting lineups presented by McDonald's. And of course the headliner, Doug, is always Paul Pierce, the finals MVP from a season ago. But you've got your eyes firmly entrenched on these 2 young, dynamic point guards, Derrick Rose and Rajon Rondo.
Well, this has been a point guard driven series, Kevin, and these 2 young guys have played such brilliant basketball. You see the numbers. I think a real key tonight in this series, Rondo 40 assists, only 7 turnovers. Derrick Rose 29 assists, 21 turnovers. He has 14 turnovers in the last 2 games. I think it's going to be imperative for Chicago being on the road tonight to take care of the basketball, as I do with the Boston Celtics. Both of these coaches have talked about turnovers and how they lead to easy points. Both of these great guards have the keys to the car, and they got to take care of it here tonight to see who's going to go up 3-2 in this series.
A lot of talk, Doug, about Ben Gordon's tweaked hamstring. You heard it in Game 4.
Well, I think that's one of those injuries where it won't affect him as much on the offensive end. The defensive end, he's chasing Ray Allen, expect him to get him in a lot of pick and rolls, and we'll see early here how mobile he is.
I got Perkins along with Allen watching Gordon, who takes it inside. That's over Perk on the switch on defense. The rebound was through the hands of Rondo, who comes up with it. He's averaging a triple-double in this series. It comes the other way. Right into Rose, kicks it back to Allen. He'll slice inside. Missing the shot, his first attempt. The rebound by Noah, his first of the game, and Gordon the other way. Into Davis. Off to Thomas, who slams it in with a sledgehammer right over Big Baby.
Well, that's the way the Bulls started game 1. Remember, it was Joakim Noah with an alley-oop dunk off a transition play to start game 1. The Bulls won. Here they started with Tyrese Thomas with a powerful finish.
Now here's Davis, and he's picked up by Tyrese Thomas. Here's Paul Pierce. Salmon's on him. That's been his defensive assignment most of this series as Noah now works in 3 seconds in the shot clock with Perkins, who bobbled it, lost it to Rose with the steal. He comes racing the other way.
A little defensive play there. They ran a guy in on the weak side. Here's Thomas once again. It's going to be an offensive foul. But when I talked to Vinny Del Negro before the game, when Kendrick Perkins catches that ball in the post, he likes to sort of crab dribble to the middle court and shoot a jump hook over his left shoulder. They want to jump on his left shoulder, turn him back the other way, watch this, and then run a guard in from the weak side. They do it the first play of the game and get a steal. Perkins is going to have to be aware of that. That's where they're coming.
So Tyrese Thomas picks up his first personal foul of the game for the Chicago Bulls. Rondo goes inside to Pierce, dances with Salmons. Saved by Pierce and picked up by Salmons.
Come on, Tucker just told us before the game they're going to look to post him up a little bit more tonight. Paul Pierce tried to get him closer to the basket. Paul has been very hesitant in this series, taking that quick shot.
Gordon is 0-2. Allen working around a screen, goes by Gordon. We know what Gordon Doug is going to do on offense. I guess that injury may come up more when he's on the defensive end of the floor.
Screen him every time down the floor because he has a tendency to lay into picks anyway. Here's a turnover as Rose goes away from the ball.
That is the second turnover. Here's Rondo outside and uncovered Paul Pierce for 3. On the rebound by John Salmons, who picks up his second rebound.
Keep our eye on Ben Gordon, but any time when he's on the offensive end, Ray Allen, screen him 2-3 times every possession, make him work.
Rondo is watching Derrick Rose. And the rebound pulled down by Paul Pierce. That's his first of the game. Rose has started 0-1. Rajon Rondo has been terrific, like we said, averaging a triple-double in this series. They got Thomas on Rondo. That's the switch now. Rose is trying to watch the larger Davis. Outside Salmons, and the 3 by Paul Pierce. With Salmons in his face as Paul Pierce puts in his first on 3 tries tonight.
Well, I think that's the guy. When he gets off to a good first half, they have won both games. So keep your eye on Paul Pierce here tonight.
Salmons works on Pierce, collides with Davis, and there is a foul. As Big Baby Davis will pick up a foul for the Boston Celtics, and he'll pick up his first of the game right there.
Kevin, one of the things, you know, with the Celtics, you think about their championship team last year, and you think about their front line. And you think about the amount of guys they had on the front line. They had Kevin Garnett, Kendrick Perkins. You see them, Kendrick Perkins, Kevin Garnett, Leon Pope, P.J. Brown. You could play James Posey down there. Look at this year now. Kendrick Perkins, Big Baby, now Scalabrine. Mikey Moore played about 5 minutes. Garnett is injured, as is Leon Pope. So with that said, a lot of attrition on that front line. Big Baby and Kendrick Perkins have to stay out of foul trouble. Kendrick Perkins the other day fouled out of the game with 1:06 to go in regulation. They really missed him in overtime, the 2 overtimes. He has 13 fouls in this series, 7 of them on the offensive end, so he must manage his fouls and not move on those picks tonight.
Noah gets the rebound for the Chicago Bulls. That's his second. Salmon's now picked up on the defensive switch with Davis on him. Rebound by Kendrick Perkins. That's his second rebound. And here comes Rondo the other way. Has not taken a shot yet. A 3 by Pierce. Salmon's defending. With the backboard out of bounds, and Paul Pierce has started this game 1 of 4.
Now, I think Doc Rivers wants him to be aggressive. I'm not sure he wants him shooting a lot of those quick threes. Paul Pierce has a great mid-range game, and he's been very hesitant. The Bulls have crowded him and forced him to take that ball into traffic, and he had 6 turnovers the other night in Game 4, which was very critical as well.
He also had 29 points, but did not score in the first quarter. Off the screen is Gordon, picked up by Ray Allen. Shot clock at 10. Here is Rose by Rondo into Thomas, defended by Perkins, and picked up by Perkins. The quick outlet caught by Rondo. Transition defense tonight for the Chicago Bulls is huge. Rondo with the floater. That's over Thomas. It's a goaltend. He touched the ball as it was coming down. Count the 2, and the Celtics on top by 4. Rondo hits his first shot.
Well, the improvement in Rondo's game is that he's got the ball in his hand so much more that he's getting in the paint. Kevin, he has 56 points of his 93 going into tonight's game in the paint. 28 of his 36 field goals in the paint. That's how devastating he's been in that Bulls defense.
It's Noah, spilled by Perkins. Bulls are 1 of 7. Perkins comes up with yet another rebound. It's his 4th. Rondo the other way. And works in the defensive change with Thomas on him now. Salmon sticks on Pierce. That means Rose is on Davis. It's Paul Pierce again. Trickling in. Salmon's the defense. Doug Paul Pierce has got 5.
Well, that's the play. He has a very good step-back shot. So drive that ball to the foul line. Little step-back shot. He can get that anytime he wants to. He did a lot of stuff leaning in Game 4.
Here's Thomas driving inside. Shot rejected by Perkins. Noah somehow digs it out. Shot clock is at 7. Do they know? Let's see Gordon. On Noah's screen, a bump into Davis. Shot clock at 2. Gordon for 3. Davis defending. And Gordon buries the tray. And he brings the Bulls to within 3. And Gordon done with his first basket. That's out of bounds. That's off of the Boston Celtics with 7:13 to play on their second turnover of the game.
You see, that's what Gordon can do. At the end of the clock, he can manufacture his own shot. Great defense here on this play. Big Baby out, challenging the shot. And just this high arcing shot that Ben Gordon throws up, and his ability to get that shot.
Noah goes inside on Big Baby Davis. And Joakim Noah, who is averaging a double-double in this series with 2 points in his first 5 minutes. And a good throw inside to get him that basket.
Well, Rose is doing a nice job because those big men from the Celtics really help off those screens. Many times the guy who sets that first pick is open on the weak side.
Gordon got that assist, knocked away as Allen was trying to maneuver. Noah gets it. 3rd turnover. Here's Thomas. Trailing is Rose. Got Cassie as he drives into Pierce. And out of bounds it goes with 20 seconds on the shot clock. And Vinny Del Negro, a Massachusetts native, with a possible foul right there. As the Bulls have started 27% from the field shooting.
A lot of shots have been contested at the rim. Vinny Del Negro felt that there's been a couple fouls that have not been called, trying to get his point across that time to Joe DeRosa.
Gordon, Allen defending, and he takes it inside. He was bumped initially by Allen, then Davis inside. With the miss right there, Gordon has started 1 of 4. Perkins picks up his 5th rebound of the game. And the Boston Celtics will inbound. What do you think of Gordon so far? Just your early observations of that hamstring.
He looks good offensively, moving very well. And if I'm the Chicago Bulls, in about 6 minutes into this game, the emotional surge here by this crowd and the Celtics, and they're only down 1. I think the Bulls have to be very happy about the first 6 minutes of this game.
Weathering that early storm.
Weathering the early emotion, playing through it.
Perkins sets a screen for Allen, pick and roll. Perkins now is picked up by Thomas. Shot clock is down to 5. Perkins comes up with the basket. His first shot is good.
Now, see, Tyrus Thomas was looking for his help on that play. He jumped on the left shoulder, and then the guy spun and got a layup, and he looked over at the bench like, where is my help? So if that's going to be your scheme, your help defense guy better be there.
Here comes a screen set by Thomas. Gordon over Allen. Ben Gordon knocks in another shot. 2 of 5 with 5. A turnover by Boston. Picked up by Noah. Turnover number 4 by the Boston Celtics. And here comes the Chicago Bulls. Led by Derrick Rose, the NBA Rookie of the Year. 5.5 to play in this first quarter. Rose is 0 of 2 over Perkins on the defensive switch. Rebound picked up by Davis. That's his first rebound. Rondo, the break right down the middle. And no defensive stopping there. And that puts the Celtics up by 3. Rondo with 4.
Well, Tyrese Thomas got caught laying in the backcourt. You got to sprint back and build a wall. You cannot be reaching on the defensive end with a guy like Rondo or Derrick Rose. You got to get back and get your feet in the paint.
Noah lost it. Picked up by Rose, knocked away by Rondo. Retreat inside by Thomas, and he goes right into Glenn Davis and finds 2. Grinding for the basket, he's got 4.
Well, Tyrese Thomas had a good start to this series and then had a couple tough games. Tonight he's off to a very good start. He and Noah very, very active.
Screen by Davis. Thomas was defending Pierce, and Pierce goes inside to Davis, who crashes the floor and goes to the glass. And 4:35 to play. Noah picks up his first personal foul.
This is the play I was talking about before. He spins in baseline and he looks around and goes, "Where is my help?" Jumps on that left shoulder. There's got to be someone there to protect him. No one is there, and he gets the layup. You see Tyrese Thomas look over at the bench, says, "Coach, somebody's got to be there."
Chicago had an early 2-point lead. Boston's lead has grown as high as 6. And Doug, your keys for this important Game 5 tonight.
Well, this is going to be about toughness, points in the paint, and rebounds. Celtics, I thought, were much tougher in Game 3 and Game 4. The Bulls +2 rebounding, +14 points in the paint. The point guards, the turnover story, 11 assists and 14 turnovers for Derrick Rose the last 2 games. The Celtics already with 4 turnovers tonight. The bench for Chicago +19 in Game 4. That was Heinrich and Miller with 30 points. Who is Doc Rivers going to trust off that Boston bench? And then poised under pressure, surprisingly, Chicago 2 and over in the overtime and double overtime games. So they have won 2 very close games. So I think everybody thought the championship poise would go to the Celtics in close games. That has not been the case. There's been 3 close games played, and the Bulls have won 2 of them.
Brad Miller has come in for Tyrese Thomas for the Chicago Bulls. As you see, Big Baby Davis out of LSU at the free throw line for Boston. Heinrich has come in for Derrick Rose. 4.5 to play in this first quarter. Salmons, Miller, Gordon, Heinrich, Noah. The Chicago finds him on the floor. No changes for the Boston Celtics. Here comes Noah. Gordon, Noah, a screen on Allen. Opens up that shot. Noah with the rebound. He's averaging 11 a game. He's in a sandwich inside. Got another one, then lost it to Rondo. 1-on-3. Wisely, he slows things up. He's a one-man fast break.
Well, you notice he keeps his dribble alive, though. This is what he's doing so much better. Before, he would give the ball up and go stand in the corner, and they could double off of him. Now with that ball in his hands, they have to guard him.
There's Rondo around Heinrich. Caught by Perkins. Never hit the rim. Shot clock at 5. Noah with the tap. It's loose. The dive. Davis has it inside. And that brings a whistle with 4. Trying to go after that ball. 3:49 to play here in the first. John Salmons picks up his first personal foul.
That's what I was talking about. That ball was loose, and Kendrick Perkins dove on the floor, knocked it loose. Big Baby picked it up. Didn't get the score, but he's going to get to the free throw line. Those kind of plays. Remember in Game 2, the Bulls blocked 4 shots in the first quarter, and the Celtics got them all back and laid them in the basket. They had 8 points like that. They were +12 on second chance points in that Game 2 that they won in here. Those are the kind of balls that you got to scrum out at home.
National coverage of the NBA playoffs continues. Coming up next on TNT, Game 5, Dallas and San Antonio. Friday on ESPN, first round Game 6s, and Sunday on ABC. It's another playoff doubleheader. Boy, you sure talk about toughness a lot, Doug, when you talk about these 2 teams.
Well, I've learned a long time in this league, 36 years, 37 years, whatever it is. You know, sometimes you talk about X's and O's and all that thing. It's who's going to be tough mentally and physically under pressure and make the simple play and execute when it counts.
Here's Salmons. Works on Pierce. Shot clock down to 6. Heinrich over Allen in the defensive switch. Kirk Heinrich, who had a nice game 4, comes up with a 3 right there on his first shot. Kirk Heinrich has 3.
I thought he was really key to start that fourth quarter the other night. The Celtics had pushed to a 6-point lead. Heinrich got off to a really good start in the fourth quarter. He shot the ball well. He's now 8 of 16 from 3 in this series.
He had 18 in that game. In 43 minutes, played a lot.
Well, see, he's a starter, really. I mean, so you can come in with him as a starter.
Switch on defense, the mismatch. Rondo over Noah. Rebound by Kirk Heinrich. Rondo 2 of 4. Heinrich with his first rebound. Miller set the way. Miller looking for Noah inside. That's off his hands, and ricochets out of bounds with 2:49 to play. And a turnover for the Chicago Bulls, number 3.
Little teaching point, that's got to be a nice little bounce pass. That ball in the air like that, you can't see it because you got all those hands in there. Nice little bounce pass in that situation, and Noah would have had a dunk.
Good look at Logan Airport on this 90-degree day here in Boston. The Chicago Bulls shooting only 33% so far in the game, yet trailed by 2 here at the Garden in Boston. Time now for the Gatorade around the cooler as we say good evening to our David Aldridge.
Well, Kevin, as you've been talking about, the last 2 days have been all about Ben Gordon's left hamstring. He suffered that grade 2 strain of his hamstring in game 4 on Sunday. Normally, a grade 2 strain involves some tearing of that muscle. As you heard Henry Johnson say in the pregame show, this morning at shoot-around, Ben Gordon said he was hoping for a miracle. He spent all afternoon at his team's hotel getting ice treatments, electrical stim treatments. He's got a portable stimulation pack he's been using. He's been getting rubbed down by the team's trainers with additional measures to get even more current to that leg. They don't think he can hurt it any worse. That's what the doctors have told him. So he's going to gut it out. He's going to play as long as he can. Vinny Johnson said he will consult with the team's trainer, Fred Tedeschi, all game long. And as soon as he gets the word, he'll pull him out. But as Del Negro said before the game, I'm not planning to take him out much. Kevin?
All right, David, thank you. Stephon Marbury is coming for Ray Allen. Here is a Gordon jump shot over Rondo. Rebound chased by Miller. He saved it, picked up by Perkins.
Get him!
And now the other way will come Rajon Rondo into Perkins. Bulldozing down the lane by both Tyrus Thomas and Brad Miller. And Perkins in this first quarter has put in 4, collecting 7 rebounds.
How hard does Kendrick Perkins work? This guy just runs the floor. Should never happen for him to run the floor. That was a half-court set, and the Bulls just let him lay that ball in the basket.
Wide open pass by Heinrich down. It looked like he wanted to shoot in mid-flight. Shot clock is at 4. Marbury is defending the driving Gordon. And Gordon has started 2 of 8. Rondo the other way. With a minute and a half to play here in the third, Tyrus Thomas had come in for Joakim Noah. There's another substitution out of that break for the Chicago Bulls. Into Pierce, who's posting up Heinrich, and the ball out of bounds, knocked out of bounds by Chicago.
You know, Heinrich has done a nice job with him. He gets his hand in there, knocks some passes away. Pierce has just got to go strong. But look at Kendrick Perkins here. Just runs right by the Bulls defender and lays the ball in the basket. This is a game, I mean, this is a game it's going to swing 3-2-1 way. You can't give up those easy kind of baskets.
Rose has come in for Gordon. Here's a big baby pass to Perkins, rejected by Tyrus Thomas. That's his first. It triggers the break the other way. Heinrich into Marbury. That is a foul. As Kirk Heinrich went barreling down the lane, so far he's got off the bench and got 3. The foul goes on Stephon Marbury, who has his first foul. Marbury, an interesting case. He was signed in February. Doug, he had a good game 3 that you and I saw at the United Center in Chicago. He only played 5 minutes the last game in game 4.
Well, he had 24 minutes in that game, Kevin. He got up 10 shots, 13 points, had 5 assists, no turnovers. And I thought, you know, maybe this might be that epiphany, that breakthrough game as a Celtic. And then he came back and was an incredibly tentative. You know, Doc Rivers said he passed up shots in game 4, and as a result, he only played 5 minutes. Well, one of the things I talked about is the bench, and look at this, the Celtics bench. Somebody's got to start playing for this team. I mean, they cannot play these guys 40, 45. The other night, Rondo played 55 minutes in the double overtime. They've got to get some help off the bench. They did in game 3, and they won handily. But the big thing is, if the Celtics are playing with a lead, it helps their bench when they come in.
Scalabrine has come in for Glenn Davis. Rondo to Perkins. Back to Rondo by Heinrich. Oh my goodness, what a great drive by Rondo. Right past the defense of Heinrich. Rondo has got 11 minutes, 3 of 5, he's got 6. Now Scalabrine on the switch on Rose. Miller tried to feed it inside. It was off quick hands You think got to go on the ground.
Nah, it's got to go bounce pass. You get your hands in the passing lane. That's 2 turnovers Brad Miller has made trying to force that pass in.
Over Salmons, the missed shot right there by Paul Pierce, who has started 3 of 7. Racing the other way with Salmons. Held by Rondo. Clock at 43 seconds. Looks like Rajon Rondo has picked up his first personal foul. Boy, in the words of Doc Rivers, he is amazed at what this young guard has done.
Well, guys are talking about, he's playing like an MVP. You've heard Paul Pierce, who was the MVP in the finals last year, talking about this young guy's game. Ray Allen, what he has meant to this team this year. And, you got to talk about the way they're playing now, Kevin. I mean, without Kevin Garnett, they can't play a half-court game because there's nobody to throw the ball in the post to. So the game is going to be much more of a high-tempo game. The Celtics are taking 92 shots a game in this series. They averaged 77 in the regular season. So Rondo is pushing that ball because that's when he's most effective. It helps Ray Allen and it helps Pierce. And so they're playing at a different tempo that they played at in the regular season.
As they continue to stretch out Gordon on that Chicago sideline, Marbury into Rose. Rebound by Brad Miller coming off the bench for his first. Rose pushing the tempo. Outside Heinrich, the close by Rondo. The slam by Tyrus Thomas, who came in uncovered, was not blocked out. He's got 6 in the game.
What a great play. I tell you, Tyrus Thomas and Joakim Noah, since about the last 10, 11 games of this season, what they've done and what the Brad Miller has done to help these guys, they're playing at an incredibly high level.
That's a good point about Miller. About 2.5 seconds the difference. Chicago has a foul to give. Rose defending Marbury, screened by Perkins. Outside Rondo, shot clock down to 5. Heinrich defending Rondo. And picked up by Miller. 2 seconds left. Rose over Marbury. Good if it goes. And it was just that close. So Chicago, Doug, trailed by 6. They come to within 2 at the end of 1.
Very, very similar to game 2. When the Celtics got off to a great start, the Bulls hung in there. We'll see what this second quarter has to show, especially now when you're getting to your benches.
It is the USS Constitution early this morning in Boston Harbor. Paul Pierce has 7 to lead the Celtics. 6 by Tyrus Thomas leads the Chicago Bulls at the end of 1. And time now to talk, presented by Charles Schwab. And moments ago, David Aldridge caught up with Chicago coach Vinny Del Negro.
Vinny, first of all, how did Ben look to you?
Thought he looked pretty good. He doesn't have quite that pop that he usually has, but Ben's going to make shots. So we just got to try to keep him loose and keep him involved as best we can.
First quarter, again, turnovers were a big key, but once you stop committing them, you seem to calm down a little bit.
Yeah, we have to keep our composure a little bit, make easy basketball plays. We're trying to get a little too fancy, especially in the paint area. Just spread them out, share the basketball.
Thanks, Vinny.
We start the second quarter. Here is Pierce, a little trap now by both Miller and Salmons. Outside to Scalabrine. Perkins down low, Marbury down low. Eddie House in the game for the first time. Shot clock at 7. And Salmons a little trip. And he is watching Paul Pierce fall. The second on John Salmons, along with the defense of Salmons, Heinrich. They have combined this entire series on Paul Pierce.
Well, it'll be interesting now with Paul Pierce on the floor. You have Eddie House and you have Stephon Marbury. Interesting to see if Marbury handles the ball or if it's going to be Paul Pierce. Eddie House is a guy that is so streaky. The Celtics would love to see him shake free and get some shots. But the Bulls have done a nice job. They know where he is. They've chased him off some shots. And he's a guy that has had big playoff games. That game 4 against the Lakers, he came in when they were down, hit some big shots to help them win that game and go and win the NBA championship last year.
Ben Gordon is coming for Salmons. Here is Scalabrine to Tristan Thomas to the right. And pulled in by Rose. That is his second rebound. Pushing the other way. Heinrich, the quick shot on the fly. That is a 2. Kirk Heinrich out of Kansas with a big shot to tie the game. Chicago on a 6-0 run. Doug Heinrich off the bench with 7.
A tough lineup now for Chicago. They have Gordon, Heinrich, who can both handle the ball, and Gordon. So Doc Rivers going to have to watch this lineup here right now.
Heinrich knocks it away with the steal on Pierce. 2-on-1 Rose. Heinrich and into Marbury. The dive won't produce anything. Marbury gets his first rebound. Heinrich 2 of 4. Heinrich on Marbury. Miller is wrestling with Perkins. Perkins had a good start.
Wow.
And continues that way as Perkins jogged with 6 points and 7 rebounds. Quickly the other way, Chicago. Gordon saw the mismatch on Scalabrine. Tries to exploit. It's a rebound by Miller, who claims his 3rd rebound. Thomas into Scalabrine. He drives down the lane. That's a foul. And that's on the Boston Celtics. And it comes a minute and a half into the second quarter. And the foul is on Brian Scalabrine with his first.
A couple bad shots by the Bulls on that play, though. Ben Gordon, the defense was back. He tried to force a shot in there. Now, I know he's not 100%, but he's already got up 9 shots. Kevin, I think two or three of those shots he's forced. Got to take his time. And then Tyrese Thomas went in and took a tough shot, and he said Scalabrine slid over and got a piece of his body. So shot selection, you know, the Bulls are 8 of 26. And a lot of those is because they've taken some poor shots. You got to really execute and make sure you get good shots every time down the floor.
Davis is in for Perkins. That's the Boston change. But the speed with which Chicago is blitzing that defense of the Celtics does not surprise you.
No, they're going to look to attack, and they've got really 3 guards out on the floor right now with Heinrich, Rose, and Ben Gordon. So transition defense is going to be really vital right now for the Celtics.
Salmon's on the bench with a couple of fouls for the Chicago Bulls. A screen by Miller, late closed by Rose. That's a shot by Marbury. It was a 2, and Stefanis started 0-2. Rose the other way. Screen by Miller. The lob, Thomas, he hit the rim and pulled down by Pierce. That's his 3rd rebound. House, Scalabrine, the oncoming rush by Heinrich. And Brian Scalabrine puts in his first basket tonight.
Brad Miller's come off the bench. He has 3 turnovers. And that I know he's a good passer and stuff, but he's made 3 careless plays that have cost his team. Joakim Noah's getting ready to come back in the game, and I'm sure it's probably going to be for Brad Miller.
Miller with the screen on House. Now Scalabrine comes up on Miller. Heinrich cross court. Pierce with the close, a 3. Heinrich has had a terrific start. First player in double figures with 10 in 7 minutes.
Well, the weak side is where you have to attack the Celtics. They load up on that strong side defensively. That's where the ball is. So the guy away from the ball, and that's where Heinrich is. And that time Miller made a great read.
Bulls have their first lead since a 2-zip quotient to get started in this game. Marbury lasers one out to Scalabrine. Shot clock at 3. Marbury over the oncoming defensive row. That shot, he's got 3.
Well, he's come in aggressively tonight looking for his shot. He's taken him to the basket a couple times, and this crowd recognizes how important he is to this team. They need bench play tonight.
Scalabrine comes up with the assist. Gordon drives on House. Rams his way into Scalabrine, and there is a foul with 8:59 to play in the 3rd quarter. Heinrich just knocked down a 3. He's got 10. The foul, by the way, goes on House. Moments ago, his first.
See where the defense is. Paul Pierce is all the way over in the lane. He's helping out. That's what they're taught to do. So the weak side away from the ball is what's open. Here's Stephon Marbury stepping back and knocking down the shots. And they need some minutes from their bench tonight. Going into the game tonight, 21 of 60 from the floor was their bench, only 35%.
Transition D. Manage the game, baby. This is what it's all about. Have fun and play the game. Remember, when the shot goes up, everybody sprint back. Don't run side by side. If you're side by side, you're not helping me. You got to get in front of Rondo and the ball. Good job on the switch there, Joe. Talk it out there. That was good. I liked it.
That's the first time head coach in the playoffs, Vinny Del Negro, as you take a look at the impressive numbers of this terrific guard, Rajon Rondo.
Well, I'll give you a breakdown there. That's 28 field goals in the paint of his 36 going in tonight's game. That's why it's important to build the wall and keep him out of that lane.
Noah has come in for Miller. That's a change for Chicago. Ray Allen, Doug, has come in the game for Paul Pierce. Nobody double figures yet for the Boston Celtics, although Pierce has 7. 10 for Heinrich off the bench. 10 points on 5 shots. Gordon, the bad hamstring. A story going into the game has looked okay as he rolls inside, puts up a shot that time over Davis. You see the fight for the ball come up with the Scalabrine rebound. He's got 1. Ahead it goes. House looking for Marbury. Knocked away by Thomas with his 2nd block shot. Rose the other way. 3-on-3. Heinrich snaps it outside. Gordon. Allen is right there defensively. Rose slithering inside by Scalabrine, and right inside into Marbury, and Derrick Rose has come up with his first basket on 5 tries tonight.
That's a good play by Ben Gordon. I think he's forced a couple shots. Need to trust his teammates a little bit more. He's 2 of 10. Sell yourself down. You're playing too quickly right now.
Ray Allen has 2 points, 1 of 2. Tries into Noah. Wheels inside. And a foul. They're reaching in there at the 8:07 mark of the 2nd quarter. And Joakim Noah picks up number 1.
Well, Derrick Rose had gotten off to a slow start. Had missed his first 4 shots. And here he gets on that baseline. And normally you don't want your point guard on that baseline. But he's big enough and strong enough to be able to finish down there. When your point guard gets on that baseline, though, whether it be Rondo or Rose, both these guys get in that lane so often. Your floor balance defensively becomes so important, Kevin. You've got to get back and protect, because both of these teams are looking to run on makes or misses. Ray Allen misses the free throw, and normally he is money in the bank. He is 18 for 19 and missed a critical free throw the other night in the double overtime of that game, as did Paul Pierce. Paul Pierce has missed 2 critical free throws. The other night he could have given him a 3-point lead, only a 2. The Bulls came back and won that game, obviously, and in game 1 had a chance to put his team up 2.7 seconds to go. The Bulls with no timeouts, misses, and the Bulls win in overtime. So 2 critical missed free throws by the captain in both of those games, and the Bulls found a way to win them.
Rondo is it takes the place of Marbury. And Salmons has come back in the game to take the place of Noah. So a smaller Chicago lineup right now. Great crossover by Rose. He got by Rondo. He collides inside with big baby Glenn Davis. At the 7:53 mark, that is an offensive foul. And Derrick Rose picks up his first foul.
You know, that call was late. And normally when the call is late, it's going to be a block, because a lot of times you wait to see where that ball goes. But watch what happens here. It goes up. And I thought they were going to call a block, and they called it late, an offensive foul. So big break there for the Boston Celtics.
Switch on defense. Thomas is now on Rondo. And Rose has the mismatch as he is working defensively on Davis. Great ball rotation. Allen over Gordon. That is a 3 by Ray Allen. Ray Allen has started 2 of 3. He's got 6 for Boston.
Well, if you're going to double team, don't rotate off him. Make Scalabrine shoot a 3 from the corner, but you do not let Ray Allen get started.
And the Chicago Bulls are shooting 33%. And they trail by 4. Boston shooting 48% in this game. Salmons a crossover on Scalabrine. And over Allen, who is reaching in and picks up the foul. That comes at the 7:06 mark of the second quarter. Ray Allen picks up number 1. And Salmons again will be at the free throw line for the Chicago Bulls.
Well, John Salmons is actually playing as a power forward right now. Tyrese Thomas is the center. So as the power forward, he's playing against Scalabrine. He has the quickness on him, so they isolated him. He got in the lane, he got a score. So watch that matchup now with Scalabrine and Salmons.
From the executive producer, Jerry Bruckheimer, as an undercover cop in LA, how far can you go without going over? Don't miss the new series premiere of Dark Blue this July, only on TNT. Kevin Harlan, Doug Collins, and David Aldridge in the sold-out Garden here in Boston. 7 to play now here in the second quarter. 2-point game. Celtics have led by as many as 6. The Bulls have led by as many as 2. Rondo's got 6, and he takes it into the defense of Rose. And lost the ball. What about turnovers, Doug? The other day, Rondo was terrific. He played, what, 55 minutes, you said, and only 1 turnover and 11 assists.
Yeah, he's terrific. In the game 3 of that series, he had 6 assists and only 3 turnovers. So I mean, he's really taking good care of the basketball. In this series, going in tonight, he had 40 turnovers and only 40 assists and only 7 turnovers, playing at the speed that he's playing at.
Rondo lunging in front. I know that Boston, Doug, defensively doesn't like a lot of switches, but we have seen a ton of switches here in the first part of this game.
Well, you saw him in game 3. He does not want that to happen, Doc Rivers. They're not a switching team. So if they switch tonight, it's by mistake, not in the game plan. And he said he was shaking his head the other day at the game. He said they made so mistakes. He said it was scary. And normally a team that doesn't make those kind of mistakes, and they did in game 4, and it cost them.
There's Salmons. Works on the taller Scalabrine. John Salmons playing with the bad groin. In fact, he's had that groin pull since late March. 14 minutes and 7 points as Paul Pierce, Doug, has just come in for Eddie House.
Again, watch that matchup. Salmons cannot guard, or excuse me, Scalabrine cannot guard Salmons.
Rondo pick and roll with Davis. Right down the middle he goes, working into Tyrese Thomas. And Big Baby Davis hits his first shot. He began horribly from the field in game 4. He's got now 6 points, 4 of which are coming at the free throw line. That is a turnover by Kirk Hinrich.
Unforced error there by Kirk Hinrich. And Kevin, you look out on the floor right now, it's almost a game of guards. With the Chicago Bulls, they have Tyrese Thomas out there and really 4 guards. So Tyrese Thomas, their big man. You have Big Baby on the floor right now, back with Kendrick Perkins. So can the big lineup right now, the Celtics, pound them inside and get on the boards?
Perkins is coming for Scalabrine. Rondo out to Davis, defended by Salmons. Ray Allen, shot clock is at 7. Gordon is on Allen. Shot clock is at 3. And There's a foul, and it's called on Ben Gordon. Doug, you've played with the bad hamstring before. Take us inside an NBA player in a game like this playing with the bad wheel.
Well, the problem you have is you spend all day, David Aldridge said, you spend all day preparing to try to play tonight. You do all the ice, all the stimulation. That's normally what you do. And so for Ben Gordon, how much sleep did he get? How much rest? Was he out of his normal routine? And that's the thing you deal with an injury when you're trying to play through it.
He just picked up his first personal foul and a timeout on TNT.
The NBA on TNT, brought to you by Corona and Corona Light. This May 5th, be sure to grab some ice-cold Corona or Corona Light, then squeeze a lime and raise your bottle to Cinco de Mayo, the perfect holiday for Mexico's favorite beer. Relax responsibly.
And we're back in Boston. Doug, you and I are taking a look at the numbers there. 50% shooting by the Boston Celtics, yet they lead by only 2. Look what the Chicago Bulls are shooting so far.
Yeah, it's 11 for 31, shooting only 35%. But the Bulls have played good defense here tonight. They've done a nice job. And you see just the ties, the lead changes. That's how close this has been. Overtime games, and the Bulls were 2-7 in the overtime in the regular season, and they've already won 2 here in overtime here in the first 4 games of the playoffs.
Joakim Noah has come in for Tyrese Thomas. Rondo works on Rose. There's a foul. Rose felt he had pretty good defensive position. He swats at the ball, and Derrick Rose picks up his second personal foul out there with Salmons and Gordon, Noah and Heinrich. And the Boston 5 on the parquet floor. They got Allen and Paul Pierce, Rondo at the stripe, Perkins and Davis. The starting 5 out there for the defending NBA champion.
Well, let's take a look at game 1. We go back to game 1, the Bulls won, and Derrick Rose, 36 points, 11 assists in that game, 12 of 12 from the free throw line, and just had a magnificent game. And as the series has gone on, game 2 he got in foul trouble. Game 3, he had the trophy presentation. He got the Rookie of the Year award. A very, very emotional night for he and his family. Game 4, slow start, but then he finished strong, Kevin. He had 13 of his points in the 4th quarter the other night. Tonight off to another slow start, and you can see in this series how important this guy is. So it's going to be very important for him, even though he's gotten off to a slow start, to keep attacking. And we saw that in game 4. He had 4 turnovers in the 3rd quarter of that game, and he came in that 4th quarter with 13 points and helped lead his team to victory. Here's Rondo walks up, and that's the old hat trick right there. Only 2 of them count, but missed 3 free throws.
Because Noah had jumped in the lane with a lane violation. I like that, Coach. Throw a little hockey in here. You can do that.
No, when I played, it was 3 for 2.
Salmons drives inside, works on Perkins. Rebound by Perk. That's his 8th rebound. The other way, Rondo. Nice defense by Gordon and Rose. They go inside. Finally, they put it back in with Glenn Davis. Davis has 8 points. He is 2 of 2.
Davis and Perkins, 14 points here tonight.
Here's Gordon. Allen defender. Shot clock down to 9. Salmons on the mismatch on Davis. Outside they got Rose. Davis will pick him up, and Rose puts it in. He's got 16 minutes under his belt, and he's gone 2 of 6 from the floor. He's got 4 points.
Well, that was just great ability. He actually fumbled that pass. I don't know how he made that floater in the lane.
Over Noah, it's Allen for 3. Rebound by Davis. Allen 2 of 4. Davis his 4th rebound. Davis the screen. Switch on defense. Salmons on Rondo. Rose is watching Pierce. Missed it all. Rose was defending. Paul Pierce has gone 3 of 8 to start this game.
It's the old veteran trick there. You shoot an air ball and you look and you say, I got hit on the hand. My hand was sweaty. Referees did not want to buy that. That was just an air ball by Paul Pierce.
Sounds like something maybe Doug Collins might have done in his
tried it all and been caught with all of it, too. Sure. Good. Every little trick, and they know him, too.
Salmons and Davis at the other end. Approaching 4 to play in the first half. It's Heinrich over Pierce. Kirk Heinrich has been terrific. 13 minutes, 12 points, Doug, and 6 shots.
Now remember, this guy's got fresh legs because he missed 31 games this year.
Yes, he does.
A lot of these guys are a little bit tired and beat up, and Kirk right now is fresh. He is in rhythm and playing great.
Here's Perkins pushing off on Noah, defended by Rose. Rebound by Joakim Noah, his 7th. Heinrich missed those 31 games with a thumb injury. Salmons drives on Davis and into Perkins, and John Salmons accelerates and finds his 9th point.
Nice little hesitation move that time. Perkins could not come over and get it, and very reminiscent of game 2. The Bulls have just hung around, take this emotional start, and lead by 2.
And equal the biggest lead tonight. Rondo 3 of 7. Got a screen from Perkins and takes it in a congested lane. Noah comes up with another loose ball. His 8th rebound. Salmon sprints. Heinrich, late close by Pierce. Rebound by Ray Allen. His first tonight. Rondo. Heinrich defended. Oh, and Heinrich with the quick hands deflects that ball out of bounds in the shot clock at 18.
He is everywhere, and he's playing with great confidence. You know, Kevin, I don't know that this guy has ever believed in himself as much as his ability, but I think Heinrich is a much better player than he gives himself credit to be. I've always loved his game. I think if he was healthy and playing a lot of minutes and was a starter, he'd be in line every year to be one of the top defensive players in the league. Play 2 positions. He is so important to this Bulls team.
Celtics have missed their last 4. Rose a late close on Allen, who is now 2 of 5. And here comes Gordon. Heinrich in full stride. The other way. That was a goaltend. So count it for 2. And the Chicago Bulls, Doug, with 2:51 to play in this first half, have their biggest lead of 4.
One of the things that have always bothered the Celtics, even last year with Kevin Garnett, is speed and quickness. If you get into a half-court game with them and let them knock you around, you got problems. If you open the floor, drive them, run them, then they have problems, and that's what's happening here. The Bulls' speed is really hurting them.
14 for Heinrich in 14 minutes. Rose with the late close on Rondo, who starts 3 of 9. Chicago's on an 8-0 run. Heinrich, Gordon, Perkins comes over to defend. That's a mismatch. And hamstring and all. What will Gordon do? Finds Rose into Pierce. Shot clock at 10. Gordon over the defending late close of Perkins. Rebound by Rondo. That's his 4th. 3 scoreless Boston minutes. Noah and Perkins. Doubled by Salmons. An easy 2 for Perkins inside. He's got 8.
Well, you can see that game plan at Chicago running in beside him on that baseline. Almost another turnover there. Perkins has got to be aware that guy is coming on the baseline when they turn him.
It's Salmons over Davis. Rebound by Rose. He was untouched inside. He was not blocked out. And Rose has got 6.
Now, both of these guards, Rondo and Rose, are very good offensive rebounders. They've got to do a good job of keeping him off the glass.
Almost identical numbers, certainly in scoring, 6 apiece. 3 of 7 is Rose. 3 of 9 is Rondo. Now 4 of 10. He's got 8. Rondo with that shot, knocking it down from 10. Don't you love watching these kids play, these 2 guards?
I love the energy in this game right now. It's such a different group here now. This Boston Celtic team trying to match the Bulls with speed and quickness. Bulls playing with a lot of confidence. You know, I thought they were shaken in Game 3, actually booed off the United Center court. Came back in Game 4, looked like they were on the ropes. They win that game, and they've come in here in Boston tonight with a feeling they can win this game and go home with a chance to win Game 6. Boston down by 2.
We've got 1 player in double figures in this game. In 8 shots, Kirk Heinrich has put in 14 points to lead all scores. The bench of Chicago has been effective. Let's now take a look at the Popeyes' upcoming schedule. Here's what's in store on TNT. Coming up next, Game 5 from San Antonio, Texas. The Mavs and Spurs. Then tomorrow, it's Game 5 of the Heat and Hawks, followed by Game 5 of New Orleans and Denver. Coverage begins at 8 o'clock Eastern Time on TNT. Doug and I will be in Chicago on Thursday. There's a look at Paul Pierce, Doug. You've been trying to verbally prod him along throughout this series, and he just has not shown a lot of zip.
He's really had 1 good game. That was Game 3 when he came out and hit his first 6 shots. There's a penetration and the drop off to Joakim Noah. It's the speed and quickness of Gordon getting in the lane once again, and this quick Bulls team, 10 fast break points, 10-2. They're +8, +9 off the bench.
Outside Scalabrine. Noah, by the way, now with 4. Here's Rose in a mismatch with Perkins. Rebound by Salmons is at a very effective first half. Scalabrine will pick him up on the other end, playing that small forward. He drives inside and playing some power forward at times too. Here is Noah inside. He leans in. He finds 2 points. He's got 4, and the foul. With his 9th rebound, Ray Allen with his 2nd foul of the game.
You know what's happened is as the Bulls have gone small and the Celtics have gone small, the Bulls' small lineup is faster. John Salmons as a 4 is causing all kinds of problems. Here is Joakim Noah, and Boy, Doc Rivers raved about him before the game, just talking about how many problems he has caused in this series with his shot blocking, his rebounding. Both he and Tyrus Thomas, I thought, were very timid in Game 3. You look at their numbers in that game, 4 of 13, 14 points, and then they bounce back in Game 4, 26 points, 6 blocks, 20 rebounds. So you can talk about the Bulls and all their perimeter guys. When those two big guys give them some good plays, they have caused a lot of problems for the Celtics.
So whereas Noah came up short inside, he does get the free throw, one of them to fall. Pierce drives inside into Gordon. Rather into Lindsey Hunter, who has just checked in. No fouls to give. Final half minute of this first half. So Hunter is in with Heinrich. They got Noah. They have Salmons in there. And Gordon is on the side. Rose is taking the seat with Hunter in the game. Heinrich by Rondo. Noah got a hand on it. Perkins comes up with it. Perkins now has 9 rebounds. Allen the other way into Celtics. 1 second left. Good if it goes. Rondo hits it at the buzzer. Heinrich was on it. Heinrich thought his defense was good enough. They will review it, obviously.
Yeah, they're just checking. I think Heinrich initially thought they had called a foul, and what they're going to do is they called it a 2-point shot, so they'll review it. I think his foot was definitely on the line, but this could be an emotional basket for Boston. Very, very quiet in that second quarter. No question it's a 2-point shot. Heinrich initially thought that they were going to call a foul on him. That was great defense, and you see the eyes of Rondo. He looked on the other shot clock on the other basket. He looked up to see how much time. That's a nice awareness to know that he had to get that shot off. So I think the star of the game in that first half, Kirk Heinrich, is with our David Aldridge. David?
Kirk, obviously with Ben's situation, I'm sure you thought you might get more minutes tonight. How did that affect your preparation for tonight?
I really didn't. I just wanted to be ready. I always try to stay ready. And right now we're just doing a good job of fighting. You know, we got different lineups out there, and we're doing a good job of sharing the ball and fighting for our lives right now.
What do you think when you guys are going to the smaller lineup? It seems like you've had the better of it so far when you go small.
Well, you know, we're pretty talented on the perimeter. You know, we're trying to push the tempo and just make good basketball plays, and so far it's working for us.
Defensively in the second half, when they start to go to that high screen roll with Paul and he switches on you, what are you trying to do to keep him from getting to the basket?
Everything I can. You know, he's so good. Just try to guard him as stuff I can. Hope he misses some shots.
Kirk, thanks very much.
Right,
see you in the second half. After this brief timeout, we'll take you back to our Atlanta studios for our award-winning TNT Inside Drew, EJ, Kenny, Charles.
We're in Game 5. We're tied at 2 wins apiece. The Chicago Bulls and the Boston Celtics. Chicago closes that first half. Doug Collins on a 13-6 run. Glad you're with us tonight on TNT. You look at Chicago, Doug, in so many ways. 39% shooting. How in the world do they have the lead, and where have they found some of their scoring when their big name players really aren't performing all that well?
They have 8 offensive rebounds for 10 points. They have 10 fast break points, or plus 8 in those 2 areas, all right? Where you really look at it for Chicago, Salmons, Gordon, and Rose are 7 for 24, and they're up 3. So you have to feel pretty good if you're Vinny Del Negro. Now, if you go to Boston, Paul Pierce and Ray Allen are 5 for 14. And I've said before, I think Paul Pierce is the guy. He has single digits in the first half. And the other 2 games, single digits, they have lost. They need a big second half from Paul Pierce.
Let's take a look at some hustle plays by the Chicago Bulls, because that has been their trademark in this first half.
And it's been Heinrich. He's the one with the fresh legs. And Tyrus Thomas, that's part of those 8 offensive rebounds. Here's another one by Derrick Rose. 10 second chance points. Joakim Noah going to work inside. He was very active. He had 9 rebounds, 5 on the offensive glass. So look at the numbers, Kevin. And the Chicago Bulls were the aggressors. The fast break points, the bench points, that was Heinrich. And I talked about in the first half, who was Doc Rivers going to trust off that bench? And once again, that bench very, very quiet. And they really missed those injured players on that front line.
As you just took a look at the Dos Equis game summary, and here are some of the numbers with Paul Pierce.
I talked about it when he's been in single digits in the first half. They have lost every game. For the Celtics to go up 3-2 in this series, he's going to have to reverse that trend.
It's Pierce, Davis, Perkins, Allen, and Rondo on the floor. Rondo's got it. Rose. Now the switch on defense. Thomas goes on Rondo. And Rose is watching Davis with the quick double by Noah. Shot clock at 4. Rondo outside over the oncoming Tyrese Thomas, and he hits a big 3. Rajon Rondo's got 13 points.
Why not? He's been the MVP of this team the entire playoff series. How about the 2 at the end of the half? That 3, those 5 points have tied the game.
Salmons, Thomas, Noah, Gordon, and Rose begin the second half on the floor for the Chicago Bulls. Rose has 3 assists. Salmons picked up defensively by Pierce with a 2 right there and a second left on the shot clock. Salmons, the second Chicago player in double figures with 11.
Well, he's not shot it well in this series. You know, going into the game tonight, Salmons was only shooting 38%, but he's expending a lot of energy defensively on Paul Pierce. And if he can help neutralize Paul Pierce, they can live with a little bit of the poor shooting he's had. But this guy was so important coming over in the trade, both he and Brad Miller from Sacramento. With those trades, with the addition, the continued improvement of that front line and Derrick Rose, this Bulls team really shot off the last few weeks of the season.
Allen goes inside, got by Gordon. Rebounded by Perkins, who picks up his 10th rebound with 8 points. And Salmon's numbers are down in the playoffs compared to the regular season. The alley-oop for Pierce, got by Gordon and by Noah. And Paul Pierce got the assist from Rondo. Pierce with 9, Rondo with his 4th assist.
Let's see if they post Paul Pierce a little bit more in this second half. That's what Doc Rivers said they were going to do in the first half, and we did not see much of that.
It's Ben Gordon, 2 of 11. Into Rose, double. Perkins and Rondo wants the ball. That is a turnover. He had a bunch of them, did Rose in game 4. And David, what do you have?
Guys, Doc Rivers at the half said he didn't mind so much the small lineup. Defensively, it was on the glass where Chicago really hurt him. They got a lot of offensive rebounds, and Doc Rivers said that should never happen. As far as Paul Pierce goes, he says he's exposing the ball too much still. They just got to get him going. That right now my guys are thinking about getting things going too much instead of just playing basketball. Also spoke with Ben Gordon at halftime. He said his hamstring was so-so, that it tightened up on him as the half went on, but as you can see, back out there in the second half. Guys.
All right, David, Gordon just picked up Doug his 2nd personal foul tonight.
You know, we did a game the other night, Portland and Houston. And it was interesting. LaMarcus Aldridge made a point. He said in game 1 and game 3, he thought too much. LaMarcus Aldridge. In game 2, I went out. He said, I left my mind in the locker room. That was an interesting comment where he just went out and played. And sometimes we get paralysis with analysis, and you lose that free-flowing athlete that you are. You just got to play.
Allen over Gordon, and Ray now 2 of 7. Thomas out to Rose. Chicago has come out running. Here's Gordon. Allen knocks him down. The missed 3. That is a foul. It's on Ray Allen. He picks up Doug his 3rd personal foul. The continued shooting woes of Ben Gordon. As I said, 2 of 11 when he launched that shot.
All right, now you've heard me say this 1,000 times. I'm going to say it again. You've got a shooter that's struggling at 2 for 11. You foul him on a 3 that he probably wasn't going to make. And now he's going to go to the line. And he makes all 3 of these. He's going to see the ball go in the basket 3 times. That's the last thing you want a shooter to do when you've got him under wraps a little bit here. So let's see if Gordon can step up, knock these free throws in, and see if that will get him going here in the second half.
The last game played, free throw shooting was an issue for the Chicago Bulls. Game long in that double overtime win, 26-35. Now tonight, hitting their free throws, 11-13, as Gordon has 6.
Well, the Celtics only missed 4 in that game, but 2 critical free throws they missed. Ray Allen missed 1, and Paul Pierce missed the other.
If you took all the scores in the playoffs, Ben Gordon is right now number 7 and number 2 in minutes played.
Well, both of these teams are up there in minutes played because the Bulls basically are playing 7 guys off the bench, and the Celtics are playing about 6.5 right now. So it'll be interesting to see. Rondo played the entire second half in both overtimes the other night, and he did not score in either overtime. Neither did Derrick Rose.
This series has had 3 overall overtime games. Overtimes in the 2 and 1.
Everybody knows it.
Game 4, then 1 in game 1. Here is Pierce trying to work his way through a congested lane, lost the ball, 7 seconds on the shot clock.
Well, that's what Doc Rivers was talking to David Aldridge about, exposing the ball. The Bulls have quick hands, and they're knocking that ball away from him. That's where he got a lot of those 6 turnovers the other night.
Rondo, who leads the Boston Celtics in scoring, and bounds to Davis, who gets by Thomas. The rebound by Joakim Noah, who collects his 10th rebound with 5 points. Salmons, a Noah screen. And approaching 9 to play here in the third quarter. The double Rose. As Perkins goes on Tyrus Thomas. Shot clock is down to 4. Davis picks up Rose. Rebound by Pierce, who collects his 3rd. Rose is 3 of 8. The other end, Davis into Rose. Counted for 2 and a foul.
A big mistake by Derrick Rose. Now, first of all, on the switch, he takes a jump shot with a big guy playing him. That's where you got to drive him. And then he gambles up and lets Big Baby run behind him. So when you miss a jump shot like that, Kevin, you have got to sprint back. Big Baby just released and ran down the floor. Derrick Rose is your last line of defense, and he cannot come up to stop the ball until somebody gets back with him, and then he can try to get the Rondo.
Rose picks up his 3rd personal foul. Here is Davis at the free throw line for the Boston Celtics. He is 4 of 4 tonight at the stripe. He completes the three-point play with 11 points and 4 rebounds. And the Celtics by 1. They've led by as many as 6. Boston has trailed by as many as 5. Here's defending Celtics. Shot clock is down to 5. Also into Davis. That's a travel.
Trying to do too much on his own that time. You got to drive and kick. Tyrus Thomas was saying you got to drive and kick that ball. And John Salmons over-penetrated, got into the teeth of that Celtic defense.
And turnover number 9 for the Chicago Bulls. Rondo. Pierce, 4 of 10. To Perkins, defended by Noah. Rebounded inside by Joakim Noah. He's got 11. Racing the other way was Gordon. Had it knocked away by Rondo inside, and that is a technical foul. Has just been
Going to be on Salmons, I think.
John Salmons.
He was arguing over the play before. And then what happens, I think was that Ray Allen's 4th foul on that play? Did they call him bumping?
Yes, Allen picks up the foul. That is number 4 on Ray.
That's a big foul.
Who only has 6 points, and he is 2 of 7. Allen will walk to the other end of the floor and shoot this technical for the Boston Celtics.
When you think about Ray Allen now, his 2 fouls in this quarter have been fouling a 3-point shooter and running alongside Ben Gordon. So 2 fouls. It really puts him in peril because you're guarding a scorer who's always going to be trying to create contact. So let's see if he stays on Ben Gordon. What's this play? Now remember, he had just fouled him on a 3, and they call that right there as a foul. Ray Allen upset. John Salmons was upset on the other end. He got the technical foul. So let's see if Ray Allen stays on Ben Gordon, if maybe they move him over and try to put him on someone else to protect him with fouls.
Ben Gordon has 8, and no one coming off the Boston bench right now. Ray Allen just got a horrible start to this series. In the first 6 quarters, Doug, hardly even reached the scoring chart.
The last 3 games, though, he's been terrific. The last 2.5 games, 14 of 24 from the 3-point line, and he hit the big 3 in game 2, and in game 4 he hit the 3 that sent it in overtime. So he's one of those guys that can get hot quickly.
Here's Rondo. There's a screen by Davis. The switch on defense. Thomas goes on Rondo. Fires a pass inside to Paul Pierce, who's now got 11.
That's what they were talking about, posted, and we've seen it now. 2 baskets in this quarter. Both have been in the paint.
And look at the Celtics plus 10 in the paint right now over Chicago. Crowder's in the game. Boston by 2. Screen by Noah on Pierce. Salmons. Thomas. Rose picked up by Rondo. That's out of bounds. That's off of Joakim Noah and off the Chicago Bulls.
One of my keys, Kevin, the last key of the game, poise. Now what's the Celtics are trying to make a little bit of an emotional push here. This is where Chicago, although they're young, you got a rookie point guard. This is where you really have to show poise because the Celtics are trying to speed them up right now and get them to take quick shots.
Tony Allen has taken the place of Ray Allen for the Boston Celtics at 7.5 to play here in the third quarter. Salmons is watching Pierce. Rose with the double. Allen to Perkins, around Noah. And had the ball ripped away or maybe just fumbled it, but nonetheless, Salmons comes up with it. Rose is streaking. Salmons with the mismatch on Perkins. And by Pierce. Rebound by Perkins. 11 rebounds. Here is Allen. Driving into Gordon at midcourt. And Gordon picks up his third personal foul.
Well, Tony Allen looked like he was going to walk with the basketball. He put it over the shoulder of Ben Gordon. Mark Wunderlich there on the call with the block. And see, with Ray Allen being out now, it's going to be tougher to post Paul Pierce because you lose a shooter. So now you can do more double teaming. That's the importance of having Ray Allen out there with his shooting.
Davis a screen. They double Pierce. Big Baby is open over Noah. Rebound by Rondo. That was over Thomas. Rebound by Ben Gordon. He's up with his fourth rebound. Chicago has a hit from the field in over 4 minutes. Switch on defense. Pierce is not watching Gordon.
They do not want him going right. He said if he beats us going right, it's a disappointment to the coaching staff. Look at this, a tip ball.
By Rondo.
And Rose gets the layup. That was a very fortunate bounce for the Bulls.
Rose has 6. It was.
Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good.
Tied at 55. The double on Pierce. Perkins is picked up by Thomas. Rotation defensively by Chicago. It's knocked out of bounds. Shot clock is at 9.
It's interesting. Doc Rivers here is going with Tony Allen to put another defender out on the floor. Tony Allen, explosive player sometimes with his offense, but he's really struggled. He's had a thumb injury. He's hurt a knee. Really has been out of rhythm. So going with the defender here rather than coming in with Marbury or Eddie House, another guy who can shoot the basketball. So defense is the word right now for the Celtics.
It always has been the word, it seems like, doesn't it? Especially since Doc has been here.
And it's been tough in this series because they just can't quite get a handle on this Chicago team.
Shot clock at 4. Pierce a screen. Salmon's the close. Rondo has just hit a 3-point shot. And he leads the Boston Celtics with 16 points. Gordon running all over the place. And Allen's going to watch him. They go inside as Rose throws to the cutter. That's Tyrus Thomas, who is not blocked out. He knifes in for 2. Tyrus Thomas has got 10.
See, the big men from the Celtics are so aware of those guys coming off screen. Sometimes they lose vision of their man. That's a beautiful play. The Bulls have done that twice now.
Here's Rondo to Perkins, defended by Noah. And the scramble for the ball. It's off of Boston. Watch this tip pass by the quick hands of Rondo, and Rose catching it quickly.
Right on the spot. There's a beautiful little bounce pass. You see Big Baby so concerned about Ben Gordon coming off that screen. You slip that pick. That's there for the Bulls. Sometimes you can even throw a lob on that play.
And we're back at the Garden in Boston. Tonight the Celtics are presenting Captain Richard Phillips with the Heroes Among Us Award. Phillips, a longtime Celtics fan, survived a pirate attack earlier this month while aboard his ship off the coast of Africa. Captain Phillips is being honored for his bravery and resolve in the face of great danger. The NBA where caring happens, and there he is, Captain Phillips, courtside next to one of the owners of the Boston Celtics. And wearing number 17 for his beloved John Havlicek. Gave us a little wave and a salute, Doug, as he was heading off the court. I did not know that you were in the military at one time. 5.5 to play here in the third. Tony Allen continues to take the place of Ray Allen on the floor. No changes for the Chicago Bulls. We have not seen Heinrich in this third quarter yet. He had a dynamite first half. Tony Allen is watching Gordon. Up a jab step, screened by Noah. Shot clock at 6. Pierce takes it away. That's the 10th turnover for Chicago. Rondo into Rose at the other end. Rebound by Noah, collecting his 12th rebound. And the other way comes Salmons, and Pierce is there to meet him defensively. And approaching 5 to play here in the third. Bulls at 41% from the floor. Celtics at 43%. Gordon to Noah. Noah picked up by Davis. Shot clock at 4. Pierce is guarding Salmons. That's a 3, and that's good. Salmons buries the triple. He's got 14. That ties the 14 by Heinrich off the Chicago bench.
Now remember that first overtime, the Bulls were up 5. I think it was 105-100. He buried that long 3 to make it a 2-point game. Maybe it was 115 to 110, but he cut it to 2. That was maybe the biggest shot of the game for the Chicago Bulls.
Rondo went inside. That forces now a double on him as he got the ball back. Pierce on the close by Rose. Rebound by Tyrus Thomas. He collects his 4th with his 10 points. Rose the other way, 4 of 10. Thomas over Perkins on the close. Rebounded by Paul Pierce. He's got 4. It's Perkins and Thomas is there. Noah with a little hedge. And a quick double. Perkins in a straight jacket. That is a whistle with 3:56 to play here in the third quarter. Tyrus Thomas picked up number 2. Look at Chicago native Jack Rivers. And Perkins will be at the line. National coverage of the NBA playoffs continues. Coming up next on TNT, Game 5, the Dallas Mavericks and the San Antonio Spurs. Friday on ESPN, first round Game 6s. And Sunday on ABC, another playoff doubleheader. Perkins at the line.
I'd say another effect of Ray Allen's fouls and sitting down is Ben Gordon doesn't have to chase Ray Allen now around those screens.
That's a good point.
So now with Tony Allen, he can play off of him, help a little bit, but he can really take a break on the defensive end of the floor. So that foul not only helps him offensively, but it helps him defensively, that he doesn't have to chase after Ray Allen.
Good point. Heinrich is in for Rose. Gordon, Perkins, and Allen have the double on him. Somehow gets the pass off to Thomas, who fed Noah. Defended inside by Perkins. Perkins 12 rebounds.
I'd say I'm so impressed with Kendrick Perkins. That guy just does every single night the dirty work in that paint.
And Perkins has no fouls tonight. Noah concedes the shot. And the rebound by Tyrus Thomas with 6.
I'm not sure I like him shooting that trolley wire 17-foot jump shot.
Pierce comes out on Salmons. It's Thomas inside. He was met by a couple defending Boston Celtics, including Perkins and Big Baby and Paul Pierce, all 3 converging, and 3:13 to play here in the third. And the foul's going to go on Paul Pierce for the first time. This is Tyrus Thomas at the free throw line. We're done tonight. He is 2 of 2.
It'll be very interesting here as we start getting into the time. Normally you start giving guys some rest. We already know that Ray Allen is over there, but who off that bench are we going to see for the Boston Celtics maybe in this fourth period? Eddie House going to get any minutes? What about Scalabrine? That bench is shrinking for Doc. You know, it's like Pat Riley used to say in the regular season, you play 8 and then you get into the playoffs, and as you go along it gets down to where you trust about 6 guys. And you can see the minutes play here and the wear and tear. And remember now, between Game 2 and Game 3, there was a 2-day break. And then between Game 3 and Game 4, there was a 2-day break. Now this series is every other day with travel that you're playing. So the Celtics are kicking themselves that they let that game get away the other day, that they have to go back to Chicago. This game here, they win, they could have closed it out. Now they're in peril of falling down 2-3.
Brad Miller will take the place of Joakim Noah for the Chicago Bulls, and 3 minutes to play here in the third. Screen by Perkins. Rondo quickly trapped. Salmons defending Pierce. Screen by Davis. Doubled by Miller. Davis is left free because of the double. That's a 2-point shot. It's by Big Baby Davis, who's got 13. 16 by Rondo, leading Boston. 2 players with 14 for the Chicago Bulls. Salmons and Heinrich each with the 14. Thomas picked up by Davis. And we got Tony Allen on board. A screen by Miller. Perkins with the double. Noah spinning into Davis. And it is saved inside by Thomas. That's a fresh shot clock. And they'll reload their offense. Davis a screen on Rondo and a hard one at that. Heinrich over Perkins inside. And did you see the way that Paul Pierce blocked out the oncoming rebounders for the Bulls? He collects his 5th. It's Rondo over Heinrich at the other end. The rebound by Tyrus Thomas, and he has his 8th rebound.
Look at Rondo tonight. He has 16 points. 2 of those are on 3, so they've done a nice job of not letting him get in the paint.
Salmons defended by Pierce, who looks slow and lethargic, and a rebound by Perkins. He has his 13th rebound. Racing the other way, Big Baby lumbering for 2 and a foul. Davis taking it right down to the rack. Heinrich picks up his first foul. He was defending on the play, and Davis dug with 15.
Well, you backpedal and you take a poor angle that time, Heinrich, and he's going to pay for it. Big Baby's going to go to the line with a chance for a 3-point play after this timeout.
And the Boston Celtics lead by 1 with under 2 to play in the third.
Hey guys, you're gonna make mistakes. You gotta hear the mistakes, and then y'all gotta stay together, all right? Let me tell you guys something. If we can guard and we share the basketball, we'll get whatever we want. When you penetrate and there's guys here, you gotta make plays. You, and you, gotta make plays.
As you take a look at Ben Gordon for the Chicago Bulls, who is only 2 of 11 from the field tonight. That's what he's done in this game quarter by quarter.
And he's missed his last 6 shots. So you look at the Chicago Bulls really down 1, maybe 2 if Big Baby makes this shot. But you've got 6 for 21 for Derrick Rose and Ben Gordon. So the Bulls are hanging tough, even though their starting backcourt has struggled tonight.
Chicago is still plus 7 points from the free throw line with this entire third quarter. Play within a 6-point range. Each team is led by 3. Gordon banged by Allen, defended by Davis, and Ben Gordon puts that one in. His first field goal since about midway through the first quarter. Gordon with 12.
Well, shooters keep shooting. He missed 6 in a row. He thinks he's hot and knocks down a very difficult shot going to his left hand.
Here's double. Davis with the convergence on him by Miller. Rebounded by Heinrich. His second rebound. Salmons drives into Pierce. Hands to Noah. 1 minute to play in the third. A wide open Heinrich. See the shot with Rondo in the vicinity. Kirk Heinrich has played 20 minutes. He's got 17 points in 11 tries.
Closing quarters, back-to-back threes. Remember the other night, the Portland-Houston game, back-to-back threes by Shane Battier off offensive rebounds that turned that game.
6 threes for the Bulls. Screen by Davis, pick and roll with Pierce. And Davis is picked up by Miller. Bulldozing inside Davis. And Glenn Davis has put in 18 for the Boston Celtics. And a half minute to go here in this third quarter. Celtics have a foul to give. Over Rondo, it's Gordon.
That was a bad shot there. I guess he just made the last one. You just crank up that shot.
Little heat check, huh?
Well, I guess it's a 2-for-1 possession because there's a 7-second differential, but you can get a better shot than that.
I say that tongue-in-cheek. He's 3 of 13. Here's Rondo. He's 7 of 16 with 16 points. And there's a difference. I just talked about 7 seconds. Game clocking shot clock. Perkins. Here's Pierce. Salmons on him. A 3 by Paul. Rebounded by Heinrich. Heinrich with his 4th rebound. Drives by Rondo. Dives inside. That's a Boston foul with 1.1 to play in the third. Rondo assessed his 2nd of the game.
No, Kirk Heinrich's in another gear tonight. He is absolutely in another gear. Looks like he might have hit his eye on that camera. Let's take a watch here now. A little bit of Rondo here. He's just driving and Rondo trips him. And let's see if he goes forward. He hits his head on the floor there. A lot of times you slide forward. There's really no runoff area there. So many cameras down there and a lot of photographers and stuff. And when you go to the rim.
We're taking a look and seeing if and what is coming out. We saw that it was pooling. And 30 seconds. They'll check him out on the side. Watch his head bounce off the floor here if he kept. Boom. Oof. Wow. Rugged kid coached by his dad in grade school and in high school in the state of Iowa. Him and Nick Collison were the 2 players of the year in that state. Played the 4 years at Kansas and was a lottery pick by the Chicago Bulls. And Doug, you saw him, you said you relayed part of the story in the first half, but you saw him the other day in the training room in Chicago. You said something which I thought was kind of
I just told him, I said, I've always loved this game. I think he's an excellent defender. I think he can play 2 positions. And I said to him, I said, I don't know that you know how good you are. But sometimes guys are so selfless. And he's in the difference in this game right now. He has 17 points. I talked about the 31 games he's missed. He's got very fresh legs. And he's putting the Celtics on their heels tonight in many situations. Going to go to the line here to shoot 2 free throws. And it's going to be very interesting here going into this 4th quarter because this is the defending champion Boston Celtics. They lose here tonight. And they got to go to Chicago to win a game to try to get back home. So the last 12 minutes of this game is going to be very, very important.
Heinrich is 2 of 2 from the free throw line tonight. He has a Chicago high 17 points and notches number 18 right there. 18 points and 11 shots taken in 21 minutes off the bench. And he's been it. He's been the only scorer off the bench.
You know, Kevin, we talk about the Celtic injuries as Heinrich makes the other one. You know, Lou Alding is not playing for the Bulls. I mean, they really miss him as well.
Perkins looking for Davis. And he was defended by newly instated Lindsey Hunter, who came in for that final play. And the Bulls, who closed out the first half on a 13-6 run, close out the third quarter on a 15-8 run. Chicago on the road in Game 5 in a series tied at 2, leading by 4 on TNT. Chicago Bulls are shooting under 40%. Ben Gordon is only 3 of 13, yet they lead by 4 at the end of 3. Moments ago, our David Aldridge caught up with Boston head coach Doc Rivers.
Doc, you had the third quarter pretty much in control, and then that last little spurt at the end for Chicago.
Yeah, that's basically how the game's gone. You know, we played 22 seconds of good defense. They get a deflection, they get the ball. They're killing us in a 50-50 game right now. Got to get Paul and Ray going a little bit as well.
I'm going to say, if you don't get Paul going, and it doesn't seem like he's going right now, where do you get enough offense to win this game?
Well, we just got to keep moving the ball. One thing we're done, we're really impatient offensively. Very rarely have we gotten to the second and third option. We just got to trust the other guys.
Thanks.
We start the fourth quarter. Here is Gordon, picked up by House, shot clock at 10. It's Salmons by Pierce. Out to Gordon, the close by House, that's a 3. Rebound by Perkins, he's got 14.
Eddie House made a mistake there and got away with it. He left Ben Gordon to go back into the lane. He has to stay attached to Ben Gordon, cannot give him those open looks.
Noah is on Scalabrine. Salmons and Noah both defending Pierce. Shot clock at 5. Where they go now, cross court. Miller watching Scalabrine. That's a 2. Rose is sideswiped by Scal, out of bounds. It is off of Boston.
Well, Boston's gone to the bench. House and Scalabrine in the game right now. Ray Allen still on the bench with 4 fouls. While he was out in that third quarter, they were -6, so they were up 2 when he went out of the game. The Bulls outscored him by 6 to take this 4-point lead. How much longer will he be on the bench?
Heinrich is in the locker room. They're getting some stitches, we think, above his right eye. Gordon into Scal. Outside, it's Miller. The close by House. That's a 3. Brad Miller has just knocked in a long-range jump shot. His first basket tonight on his first try. He has just given the Chicago Bulls their biggest lead.
Chicago bench 22, Boston 5. 22-5. That's the difference in this game right now.
Miller came in to pick up the maneuvering Pierce above the arc, and Brad Miller picks up his first personal foul. So Boston out there with Scalabrine, Perkins, Pierce, Rondo, and House. Chicago out there, Doug, with, let's see, Noah, Rose, Gordon, Miller, and Salmons.
Paul Pierce time right now. He has got to go to work, whether he shoots the ball or makes a play for somebody else.
He's 5 of 13. Finds the open and uncovered Scalabrine. Late close by Noah. Rebound by Miller. It's his 4th rebound. Outlet to Gordon. He goes with a hesitation into House. He drives inside into Scalabrine. And that is a foul on Brian Scalabrine, who has come back in this series after missing the last part of the season with post-concussion syndrome. That is the second on Scal. We're talking about that headband back in game 2 we did here. He said that was a protective headband. He's already got a name for it.
Yeah, we were talking to him before the game. He said that's the Scalabrine.
The NBA is on Twitter. Get real-time stats, scores, and inside access from the NBA playoffs at twitter.com/NBA.
We're going to see what the Boston Celtics are made of here right now. Ben Gordon makes this. They're going to be down 9. Less than 10.5 minutes to go. And interestingly enough, Doc Rivers still has Ray Allen on the bench. How much longer will he be over there? And Celtics are going to have to find a way to score here.
Ben Gordon has 14 in the game, 9 in the second half. Rondo has a double on him. Rose on Rondo. Screen by Scalabrine. Miller now picks up Rondo. Pierce with the fake. It's an open 3. Salmons bit the fake. Rondo tries for the loose ball. Snaring it inside is Noah. He's got the capture right there as Heinrich has come back out onto the bench. Ray Allen sets to check in for Boston at the next stoppage of play. Over House. Gordon for 3. Missed it all. And Gordon dug 3 of 15.
That's not a good shot. I mean, he could put the ball on the floor and attack. There's a good recovery, though, to get the block on House.
And Gordon got that block. And here comes Rose. House on Rose. Screen by Miller. Pick and roll. Miller inside to Noah. Got by Perkins. What a pass by Miller. And Noah comes up with the deuce. He's got 7. Miller comes up with his 2nd assist.
But he had 3 turnovers in the first half. This time, like, he catches it in one hand. Watch this. One hand bounce pass skipper.
Oh.
Like when you're a young kid skipping rocks off a lake kind of thing. Noah, look at the energy and the emotion. How about the Chicago Bulls up 11?
And the Celtics have their largest deficit of the series. Doug, you're big on that 45% rule shooting from the field.
Well, it's held true to this series. In Game 1, you see what the numbers were. Game 2 and 3, the Celtics shoot 49-48. Game 4, and here tonight, where is the offense going to come from? And this Bulls team, as this game is going on, the further it goes, the more confident they are becoming. You heard Doc Rivers talking to David Aldridge at the end of the third quarter. He said they've got to get Ray Allen and Paul Pierce going. Ray Allen 2 of 7, Paul Pierce 5 of 14, 7 of 21. How about this? Paul Pierce has not attempted a free throw, which means they have made him a jump shooter and kept him out of the lane.
There is Pearson to Noah with a finger roll right there. Just as you were talking about it, that's a foul. Counted for 2. And Paul Pierce has got 13 points. And that breaks a Boston field goal drought of 3.5 minutes. Noah picks up his 3rd personal foul.
Well, smart play by Paul Pierce. You drive that ball to the basket, you create a little contact, and the MVP of the finals last season, they're going to need all he's got. He and Ray Allen here in the last 9:15, and we'll borrow a little phrase from Nate McMillan, but the one thing the Bulls can't do is they can't get intoxicated on their own emotion right now. They have got to keep their poise.
Big Baby Davis has come in for House at that last break. Rose with the ball, 4 of 10.
They just called the Ray Allen's 5th foul, chasing Ben Gordon on a screen. So 3 fouls that Ray Allen has picked up in this second half. 1 on a 3-point shooter, 1 bump and a drive. And watch this now as Ben Gordon starts to go. He reaches out there and they call the foul. They're grabbing Ben Gordon.
Shot clock is down to 4. Gordon is picked up by Rondo. That's a 3 by Gordon. Picked up by Noah, who puts it up and in around Perkins. And Noah very handy around the rim. Has got 9 points and 14 rebounds.
You know, some people wonder, what's a 50-50 play that Doc Rivers talked about? That was a 50-50 play. The ball was loose, and the Bulls came up with it.
Rondo to Perkins, and Perkins to Davis. The close by Miller. Glenn Davis has gone 7 of 10. He's got a Boston high 20 points in 33 minutes. To take a look at our leading scorers. Allen is on Gordon. Rondo is on Rose. Pierce is chasing Sanders. A screen by Miller. Pick and roll. Miller uncovered. They concede the shot. He's got 2 in a row as Brad Miller has put in 5.
See, when the Celtics play those screen downs like that, their big man really shows up, so the Bulls can get that shot for Brad Miller rolling out anytime. It's a lot like with Big Baby setting the screens for the Celtics. He can get that shot rolling out.
Allen climbing for the ball. Timeout taken by Boston. Doug, in that game 4, the combination of Heinrich and Miller went for 30 points. And tonight, with Miller in 5 and Heinrich with 19, again, those two are having an effect coming off the Chicago bench. Miller and the Bulls on top by 10.
Kevin, I want to talk a little bit about here. Glenn Davis here. Watch how he shows up really hard to take away that Salmon shot, and you have the guy chasing. That guy rolling out is open. When you play against the Celtics, if your big men can shoot, if they set good screens, the Celtics are so concerned about helping up that those guys rolling out have the ability to make shots. And that's why it's important for a guy like Brad Miller to be in the game right now, because he can make that shot if he sets a good screen.
Here's Davis. Gets by Miller, finds Perkins over Noah. Now Kendrick Perkins has put in 11. He's got the double-double with 11 points and 15 rebounds for the Boston Celtics. Miller, Davis on it. Rose, shot clock is down to 7. The mismatch against Davis. Derrick Rose. Perkins comes out with the defense, and Rose is 5 of 11 with 10 points.
Yeah, great play there by Rose. They switched it, and what he did, he pulled it back, and then he attacked, got to where he wanted to go, and shot that little fading jump shot. A very mature play by Derrick Rose.
On the rotation, Miller picks up Rondo. Pierce over Salmons on the close on the missed three. Rondo comes up with the rebound. That'll be number 6 for him. He drives into Rose, contorts and finds 2. Rondo with 18.
It'll be the toughest 7 minutes of the Chicago Bulls season right now because the Celtics are trying to make a push.
Screen by Noah. Pierce is defending Salmons. Another screen by Noah. With the shot clock down to 7. Rose. It's by Rondo. Lost the ball. Rondo knocked it away. Rondo against Noah at the other end. Oh, what a great move by Rondo. He's got 20. And Boston comes to within 6. Noah. They concede the shot. Rebound by Perkins. He's got 16 rebounds.
Celtics get a score here. Vinny Del Negro might want to get a timeout just to calm his young team down.
Halfway through the 4th quarter. Ray Allen has had a tough night shooting. He is 2 of 7 and in foul trouble with 5. Gordon is on him. Screen by Davis. The double by Noah. Out to Rondo. Screen by Perkins, opening up the 3. Kendrick Perkins laid the wood. And Ray Allen knocks in the triple. And Boston is on a 7-0 run.
It's interesting. Vinny Del Negro is going to let his team play through this. He's been criticized a lot this year, taking too many timeouts. If it's a double foul, Ray Allen is out of the game. He and Brad Miller got tied up on that play, and if it's a double foul, Ray Allen is gone. What a big, big loss for the Celtics after he just hit a 3 to make it a 3-point game.
Already shorthanded. Boston now loses one of their top scorers.
And it's going to be a timeout, so Vinny Del Negro gets a big break on this play. The Celtics had made a push, got it to 3. He didn't call a timeout. Watch the play here. Brad Miller and Ray Allen get tied up. They call a double foul. Ray Allen is gone. The Bulls get their timeout. Ray Allen gone for the game.
The 2009 NBA Playoffs on TNT. Brought to you by Hyundai Assurance Plus. Because in times like these, we're all in this together. By DirecTV, you can easily set your home DVR to record from any cell phone or computer. By T-Mobile G1 with Google. Everything you love about the web, now on a phone. And by Popeyes. Welcome to Louisiana Fast.
And tonight for Ray Allen, Doug, his 68th career playoff game. He fouls out for only the 2nd time after all that postseason experience.
It'll be interesting to see if the Celtics now can find enough offense. You've come in with Tony Allen. Remember when Ray Allen was out in that 3rd quarter, they got outscored by 6 points.
Good
Tony
point.
Allen is in to guard defensively against Ben Gordon, but who's going to score?
Here is Miller. Into Davis. Perkins had it. Noah knocked it away. 5:22 to play in the 4th quarter. And Joakim Noah picks up his 4th personal foul for the Chicago Bulls. Kirk Heinrich is going to come back in. And Gordon is going to, Miller is going to leave.
Yeah, they're going to go small. This is the lineup that bothered Chicago a little bit, Boston a little bit in that 2nd quarter. Now Salmons goes to the 4 spot. And Boston's going to stay big. So now you've got Big Baby's going to be playing against John Salmons. Let's watch the big lineup against the speed lineup.
Here's Rose watching Pierce on the change of defenders. Rebound by Joakim Noah. He's got 15 rebounds. Pierce is 6 of 17.
I like to move though. Strong move in the lane. Just Joakim Noah just bothered that shot.
Rose 5 of 11. Heinrich picked up by Pierce. Rondo on Rose. Noah the screen. Switch on defense. Perkins comes out on the point guard for the Bulls. Rose was diving. He was tripped. Was going to tie his shoe, so a foul. It's on Big Baby Davis. He picks up his 2nd personal foul.
They're going to call that on the pass, though. Mark Wunderlich came over and helped Joe DeRosa on the play. So that's where Derrick Rose, as he gets older, when he hears that whistle, will throw the ball up at the basket. But there they are switching all those pick and rolls. That time it was Kendrick Perkins caught, and he just drove right past him. So I'm not sure the Celtics, that's what got them in trouble in the fourth quarter the other day, switching all those screen rolls.
Tony Allen is on court, playing with the bad hamstring. He has been a warrior tonight. Great crossover by Salmons right into Davis. Defended by Perkins. Here comes Rondo. Right into the defense of Ben Gordon. Rajon Rondo's got 22. Boston is on a 9-0 run.
How good is Rajon Rondo? This kid is fearless.
They got Davis on Salmons. That is a three. That is right down the middle. Chicago had gone 3 minutes without any points. Salmons the three, 17 for the game. Bulls by 4.
It's tough for Big Baby to get out and play him at the three-point line. He'll get beat off the drive. We got to watch that matchup.
Here's Pierce leaning into Rose at the free throw line, and a shot by Pierce won't go, and a foul called on Rose, who is tagged with his 4th for Chicago.
I talked about it the other day. John Salmons, the big shot that he hit when the Bulls were down 5 in that first overtime that made it a 2-point game. Here he is, so he sort of quiets the run of the Boston Celtics.
Doc Rivers told us before the game, Doug, that he didn't like his defense switching. They don't switch a lot, and that's all we've seen in many instances tonight in defending the Chicago offense.
I think what they want is Rondo to go under that screen and then get him covered back, and then Kendrick Perkins to get back to his man, but they've been caught in those switches. He said it happened 21 or 22 times in game 4, and he said we're not a switching team. So if the Bulls go to that, let's see what Boston's going to do.
The Chicago Bulls from the free throw line tonight have made 8 more points in 7 more attempts. Under 4 to play. Pierce with 16. Rose, Gordon, Allen the close. That is a 3, and it's down. Ben Gordon has caught fire in the second half. Ben Gordon has got 17 points. And 12 have come after halftime.
Yeah, you got to love shooters. He's now 4 of 17 for the game, but shooters keep shooting.
It's Big Baby against Salmons. Doubled by Noah. Noah with the block and a whistle and a foul. It's on Chicago defensively, and it comes with 3:28 to play here in regulation. 5. Salmons picks up number 3.
See, what happens on that play is Tony Allen has to help just enough on that roll, and you've got Ben Gordon sliding up in that shooting position, knocking down that 3. So what we're seeing here the last couple possessions are the Bulls with their small lineup stretching the floor, a couple back-to-back threes, and then the Celtics coming in and countering it with a power lineup with Davis going to the line and Paul Pierce. So it's sort of power right now versus the speed and quickness of the Chicago Bulls.
Davis with 21, 7 of 7 from the free throw line. Both teams have shot well tonight from the stripe. For the game from the field, Boston 44%, and Doug, the Chicago Bulls at 42%. 9 3-point hits for Chicago, 6 3-point makes for Boston. Rose and Noah, Salmons, Gordon, and Hyman. Swerving as Gordon takes it, or rather, Rose takes it right inside into Big Baby Davis. And Rose is 5 of 12. Perkins was grabbing his 18th rebound. Noah knocks it away. Rose picks it up. Pierce had a hand on it. Here comes Chicago on the turnover. And Chicago turns it right back.
Now, you know what I'm going to say, right? Under pressure, make the simple play. And Derrick Rose tried to throw a lob that time to Joakim Noah. You have possession of the ball, up 4 on the road, under 3 minutes. You've got to get a good shot.
We saw the turnover story. Chicago at 12. Davis with Noah defending. Caught by Perkins. Perkins has got 13. Timeout, Chicago. Tells the story by quarter. With Doug Collins, Kevin Harlan, we're at the Garden in Boston. Chicago leads by 2. One of the 4 points, Doug, you made a couple hours ago. Boys under pressure by either team.
Absolutely, Kevin. We saw the other night a Portland-Houston game but Portland made some critical mistakes on the road. Houston wins a one-possession game. Here you are tonight, a 2-point game, 2 minutes and 42 seconds to go in the game. And the Bulls are going to have quality possession. Don't turn the ball over, get good shots, and then they've got to get back defensively.
Here's Rose, picked up by Rondo. We got Davis on Salmons. Small lineup for Chicago. Shot clock is down to 7. Salmons makes his move on Davis and hands off to Miller, who gets by Perkins. Rebound by Salmons. That's a fresh shot clock. And Rose on the wing. Mismatch against Davis. He'll try to exploit. Nice rotation. Open Salmons. The close by Davis. The missed three. Another offensive rebound, this time by Rose. And Rose collects his 6th rebound. 2 minutes to play in regulation.
What are they going to do in this middle pick and roll? They better not switch and let Kendrick Perkins attack.
No, the screen, Rose, the dive inside for 2. Derrick Rose with 12.
So what happened that time, Kendrick Perkins stayed attached to his man. Rondo tried to go underneath the pick, and he could not cut off the speed of Rose.
Rondo the other way, floats in for 2 right by Rose.
Now these young guys realize this, so Game 5 playoffs, it's 2-2, right?
We do. 24 points for Rondo.
Gotta go back to the same play. Can they stop it?
Screen by Noah. Rose to Salmons, picked up by Davis. John Salmons had it rejected by Perkins. Here comes Rondo. Rose back defensively. Here comes Pierce by Rose by Heinrich. A basket by Pierce, right by 2 Chicago defenders, and Pierce has got 18 points. Paul Pierce has just tied this game. Timeout, Chicago.
Well, Derrick Rose, you're going to watch. Look at Perkins stayed attached to his man. That time, Derrick Rose just had the great angle, and then Paul Pierce off the block shot with the score. That's a mistake here by Chicago, though, Kevin. They take a timeout. They dribble at half court. They could have taken and moved it. No time off the clock. They only have 17 seconds on the shot clock now.
Southwest Airlines game break. Ernie Johnson, Studio J in Atlanta, updating you on the Magic and the Sixers. Time running out in the 3rd quarter. Hedo Turkoglu, who hit a 3-pointer at the end of the game to win it the other day. Cans a 3, 69-60 Magic as they lead at home. Meantime, later tonight, short time from now, Tony Parker and the Spurs trying to stay alive against Dallas, and what a finish we have in store in Boston. Kevin, Doug.
Ernie, thank you very much. The Chicago Bulls led by 10, 83-73 with 7:19 to play. And Doug, the Celtics on an 18-8 run since.
We'll see what they're going to do coming out of this timeout. Probably put the ball in the hands once again of Derrick Rose. Now, will they go to Ben Gordon coming off the screens? That's what they did in Game 2. They called 3 timeouts to run plays to get him a shot.
Heinrich, Miller, Rose, Salmons, and Gordon out there for Chicago.
Again, only 17 on the clock because the Bulls did not call timeout and move it.
Now here comes Stephon Marbury off the Doc Rivers bench. And he'll be out there with Pierce, Perkins, Rondo, and Allen. Davis will leave.
Well, they see the play that the Bulls are getting ready to run. They make that so they can switch all the plays. So they're going small now so you can switch small on small.
Again, 17 seconds on the shot clock. Miller a screen. Rose and Rondo. Derrick Rose. A foul. And it's called on Rondo. With 55 seconds to play, Rondo picks up number 3.
Take a look here now as he drives. There's going to be contact right there, and they said that there was a block on that play. Remember now, Derrick Rose in Game 1 went to the foul line. It's not in the act of shooting, so it's side out of bounds, but he was 12 of 12. Remember that Game 1 overtime 1 here. Now they're down to 14 on that shot clock.
Rose will inbound. Heinrich will be picked up by Marbury. Gordon is picked up by Allen. Salmons and Pierce. Perkins and Miller. Rose, switch on defense, Perkins. Now Rondo comes on him. Down again he goes. He tripped. That's a turnover. Rose has turned it over again. He's got 6 turnovers in the game, Doug, and Doc Rivers will take time. Rose had a lot of turnovers in game 4.
That time he got caught over-penetrating. He stumbled on his own foot. The ball goes out of bounds. After that 36-point first game, this has been a real growth process for Derrick Rose in the crucible here of the heat of this Garden in Boston. Can the Bulls hold on?
Ray Allen is fouled out of this game 5. In this series, though, some big hits like in game 2. He buries that 3 with 2 seconds left over Noah, and the Celtics by 3. In game 4, he hit the 3 with just under 10 seconds left to tie the game at 96 and force the first overtime. But tonight, Doug fouling out with 5:27 to play, with Chicago at that time leading by 3. We're tied at 91, and all Allen can do is hopelessly watch from the bench.
Let's see who Doc Rivers comes out with tonight. Look at this series. My goodness gracious, how great has this been? 45 ties, 80 lead changes, 2 overtime games. Here we are, game 5, 91 all, under 50 seconds to go. Let's see what Doc Rivers, he has Tony Allen on the floor. Rajon Rondo looks like he's going to come in with Eddie House. He's going Eddie House in for Tony Allen, so he's going offense here. 1 big man, Kendrick Perkins, 4 smalls are going to try to spread them out. And once again, it's Paul Pierce time.
Marbury works on Heinrich. Rose will watch Rondo. Here is Pierce, picked up by John Salmons. Shot clock is down to 7. Snaps it outside. Marbury. Rondo with the little floater off the baseline. Rebound by Noah. Noah collects his 16th rebound. A difference of a second, game clocking shot clock. Gordon on the side. Marbury defending.
What is he doing?
Oh, he just hit it. He just gave Chicago the lead. That's what he was doing. Oh, my goodness. Can you believe it? We're 16.6 to play in regulation. Oh, my goodness. What a shot by Gordon, who's got 19 and 7 authored in this 4th quarter.
Well, Marbury had a shot and passed it up. That's why he has not been playing. And Rondo short arms a shot. Ben Gordon is trapped here. There's like a 1-second differential, and he throws up the shot here. I mean, if that doesn't go in, I mean, the Celtics can come down and hold for the last shot. That's why I said, what is he doing?
Boston is out of timeouts as we revisit Doug, your keys.
Well, the toughness battle, you look at the Bulls, +7 on the boards. Point guard Rondo 24-9. Derrick Rose has 6 assists and 6 turnovers in the game. The bench, Chicago +19 and poised under pressure. Ben Gordon with that sore leg, 7 points in the 4th quarter. And that leaping leaner there at the end, will that be the game-winning shot that gives the Bulls a 3-2 advantage? The home court going back Chicago Thursday for game 6. See, if Marbury's going to be in the game, he's going to look for the shot. I mean, win or lose or whatever, you got to be willing to take the shot. This guy's played in too many games. He can't pass up an open shot.
House and Marbury, Rondo, Pierce will inbound. Davis out there for Boston. 16.6. Celtics out of timeout. Chicago's got 2. Chicago has 2 20s. No fouls to give. Rondo gets the inbound. Here's Pierce. Rose defending for the top. Timeout Chicago, 10.5. When Paul Pierce has got 20 points.
Now that's the Paul Pierce I know. There was no hesitation. He drove the ball to the spot. turned, knows he was shooting over the smaller Derrick Rose. They switched the play, drives it to the foul line. No hesitation. He knows that Rose cannot bother that shot. And when Paul Pierce has gotten himself in trouble in this series, he's over-penetrated, he's gotten inside, turned the ball over. That was a shot, big-time shot. Now the question is, can the Celtics get a stop? They have no fouls to give. Chicago has 1 22nd timeout. So if they get themselves in trouble, they know they've got a timeout, plenty of time on the clock.
What's he telling his team inside that huddle, Doug?
Get something going to the basket, because you want to put the onus on the officials if there's contact to get to the foul line. You don't want to live and die with a long jump shot. I would have to think the Bulls, what they did in game 2, they set up plays for Ben Gordon, although he's only 5 of 18, or Derrick Rose on that pick and roll in the middle of the floor.
Heinrich will inbound. No changes for Chicago, except for Brad Miller coming in for Noah. That is the only change. Tony Allen is watching Gordon. Gordon for the game. Overtime. And this will be the 4th overtime in this series. 4th overtime session of this series. We had 1 overtime in game 1. We had 2 over the weekend. Our 4th right now.
I got to tell you, Kevin, I'd rather see something going to the basket. I know Ben Gordon's made that shot a lot of times. But I like to get contact, something going to the basket to make the official have to make the call.
Ernie Johnson in Atlanta, Southwest Airlines game break. How good is this? We got 3 games going on at once. In Orlando right now, 80-67, the Magic with the lead. Dwight Howard has 24 points and 20 rebounds. San Antonio and Dallas just underway. The Spurs trying to stay alive against the Mavs, who lead at 3-1. They have just tipped it off, and we'll send you there as soon as they are done in Boston, where they're going to overtime for the 3rd time in 5 games in this series. That's delicious. Back to you, Kevin.
It'll be Gordon, Heinrich, Noah, Salmons, and Rose out there for the Boston Celtics. Marbury and Rondo with Tony Allen, Perkins, and Pierce. Fouling out of the game was Ray Allen at the 5.5-minute mark of the 4th quarter.
And remember, in game 4 now, the Celtics came out strong in that first overtime.
Tony Allen around Rose, finding Perkins inside. He was handcuffed by both Heinrich and by Joakim Noah. Now with 4:46 left in this overtime and only 14 seconds gone, Heinrich Doug picks up his 2nd personal foul. So Perkins, who has a career playoff high 19 rebounds and a career high, Doug, 6 block shots, finds himself in the stripes. Where tonight, he's now 2 of 3.
Well, this young guy, I told you, I've sung his praises the entire playoffs. How hard he's worked. Came into this league as a high school player, overweight, out of shape. How hard he has worked. And you think about him out here now playing 45 minutes in this game. High energy game, up all these pick and rolls. He's been terrific.
It's Marbury on Heinrich. Noah will come out, attempt a screen, a double on Heinrich. Salmons over the late arriving Allen. Offensive rebound by Derrick Rose, and that for him will be his 7th rebound. Rondo is defending Rose.
Kirk Heinrich's got to keep looking for his shot. He's been terrific tonight. He can't go away from that.
He's 6 of 11. Shot clock at 9. Little trap there by Boston. Good defense by Marbury. Heinrich to Rose. A 2 over Marbury with a 2nd on the shot clock, and the rebound by Paul Pierce. And Pierce clutches on to his 6th rebound.
Too much dribbling. Chicago's got to move the ball.
It's Pierce, the fake on Salmons, the drive by Heinrich, and outside for the uncovered Marbury. And out of bounds, it's off of Perkins.
You think they miss Ray Allen out there shooting the ball right now?
My goodness.
See, the Bulls can be so aggressive on Paul Pierce. You have Tony Allen out there right now and Marbury, 2 very reluctant shooters.
Chicago for the game, shooting right at 40%, and Boston shooting 46% for the game. Gordon, Noah blocked him out. Hard foul by Pierce, who lays out Noah. And a foul called on the captain for the Boston Celtics. Paul Pierce with his second personal foul. And Noah will be at the free throw line where Doug tonight is 1 of 2.
It's a good foul. Paul Pierce goes up. You don't want to give up any layups or dunks right now. Joakim Noah, very emotional player. You got to make him go to the line and make a couple free throws. And sort of has that two-handed free throw, Kevin. He gets his left hand to the ball, his right one, and sort of squirts it. The ball spins sideways, almost like a spinning globe.
Well, he's lived all over the world, so he's familiar with that. Noah. Boston trailed by 10 with 7:19 left in regulation. They close out that fourth quarter, Doug. NBA champion Celtics do on a 20-10 run. Noah ties it. He's got 10, a double-double. He's averaging a double-double in this series. His 11th point with 17 rebounds.
Stepped right up the line and knocked him down. I don't care if it's pretty or not. It went in.
Good has played in a couple Final Fours, a couple national championship games. He's been in the stage like this before. Screen by Perkins. Rondo pick and roll at Perkins. Rondo gets the assist. That's number 10. Perkins gets his 16th point. Rose the other way. Switch on defense. Rose doubled. Salmon's picked up by Pierce. Shot clock at 7. Across the lane. Uncovered Heinrich. Quite close by Marbury. Rebound by Rose. Knocked away from behind by Perkins with the block. His 7th.
Kendrick Perkins right now is like a heavyweight fighter in about the 15th round. The guy is just out on his feet right now. He's going on strictly adrenaline.
Rondo into Rose with the triple drive, and that is a foul that comes with 2:48 to play here in overtime. Rose picks up his 5th personal foul.
See, now Ben Gordon on the weak side has got to be over there, and I tell you why. He's guarding Tony Allen now. That's not Ray Allen. You can help on that weak side. And then here is the block. Beautiful rebound by Derrick Rose, and then Perkins just from behind knocks that ball. It's his 7th block. You talked about that sideline out of bounds, and if I'm Ben Gordon right now and I'm Derrick Rose, I'm helping defensively.
Rondo tries on Heinrich. Rajon Rondo has put in a busted high 26 points. 2.5 to play in overtime. Timeout Chicago. Boston by 3.
Guy's been the star of the playoff. Rajon Rondo, indefatigable. That means he doesn't get tired, Kevin.
I like that.
Fearless, going to the paint where he's done all of his work. He's had 28 field goals in the first 4 games. None bigger than that one right there.
Again, a Southwest Airlines game break. Get you up to speed on the story in Orlando. Still a double-digit lead for the Magic, trying to take a 3-2 lead over the Sixers in that series. They are in a timeout early, 7:18 to play in the first quarter. Greg Popovich's San Antonio Spurs falling behind 9-4. Dirk Nowitzki has 7 quick points for Dallas, including his first 3-pointer of the series. Now let's go back to Boston. Yep.
We're in the midst of our 4th overtime and our 3rd different game in this great series between the Chicago Bulls and the defending NBA champion Boston Celtics.
And now remember, we showed this graphic early in the 4th quarter. The Celtics were shooting 40%.
Right.
Now at 47%. And you know why, Kevin? A big reason, 52 points in the paint to 28 by the Bulls. They're plus 24 points in the paint.
What about the lack of fast break points, Doug? You've been talking about the entire second half, only 2 by Chicago. That's what they live by.
They were 10-2 plus in the first half. They're minus 12-2 here in the second half. That's how this game has changed.
No changes either way. Here comes Gordon dancing on Allen. Frees himself. Whacked as he shot. With that bad hamstring, he puts it in. How about that? How about Ben Gordon? Doug, bad hamstring and all, 49 minutes. He's got 19 points, tied with Heinrich's 19 off the bench. Tony Allen picks up his first personal foul.
Now this is called shadowing a guy out of the huddle right
Yes,
here. I mean, this pick the guy up all over the floor.
Stride for stride.
Yes.
Here's Gordon at the line. 6 of 7 from the stripe tonight. We've talked about a lot of individual performances, Doug, but even you would concede with this bad wheel the kid's got, the left hamstring strain and MRI confirmed that yesterday. 49 minutes. And he's played this kind of game in a great second half, we should add.
Well, the thing about it is, what I like about him is he hasn't shot the ball well, but he hasn't run away from any shots. And the last thing you want is for a guy who makes big shots to ever run away from a shot. I know he took a tough shot there at the end of regulation, but he's willing to take it, and that's what really good players do.
Heinrich is picked up by the Rondo drive, and that's a foul called on Kirk Heinrich with 2:17 to play in overtime. He's now got his third. And just updating the Boston Celtics shooting for the game. In fact, we'll take you from the start of the fourth quarter. Boston, Doug, has shot 59% since the start of the fourth when they made their run at Chicago.
Kevin, between shots, I'm going to show you on this drive where Ben Gordon is, okay? He is guarding Tony Allen in the corner. He should be back in the paint. Right now, he should be back, and Rondo should be seeing him and forcing him to kick that ball out. He is not playing a shooter, so he now has to be a team defender.
Rondo again. Rondo from the line, 2 of 4. A Celtic high 28 points. Rose comes the other way, he's got 12. Gordon is tailed by Allen. Gordon doubled by Rondo. Banks it in. What a dive by Gordon. With a Chicago high 23 points.
That was brilliant defense and just an incredible shot. See where Ben Gordon is right now. See him not even guarding Tony Allen. That's exactly what he should do. Just stay right there in the paint and not even chase him out.
Heinrich watching Rondo. Knocked it away. 7 to shoot. Rondo gets it back, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Rose. Against Marbury. Down the lane to the rack. And the Chicago Bulls have recaptured the lead.
What speed with the left hand. Taking that ball to the rim. Kevin, play after play. I mean, not always great offensive execution, but man, the competition has been incredible.
Rose has 14 points. Pierce has got 20. 8 of 19. Defended by Salmons. And Boston's got the lead.
This might be the team with the ball last wins.
Paul Pierce with 22. With the shot clock down to 7. Switch on defense over Perkins. Gordon with the 3. Rebound by Allen. Gets it out to Perkins, who feeds to Rondo.
See, he doesn't need that screen, Ben Gordon. When you bring that screen over there, then it allows Kendrick Perkins to come out and get a hand up. This is where Paul Pierce wants to go to work. This is where his bread and butter is. Right in the middle of the floor. Go quickly, pull up and shoot your shot.
Salmons defended. Paul Pierce has got 24 points in 50 minutes. He has taken this team on his back and put the Celtics up by 3 with 36 seconds to play in overtime.
Paul Pierce, last 2 baskets, get it in the middle of the floor. You see where the defense is coming. No hesitation, no pump fakes. Go up into your shot. 2 times in a row, he puts them up 3. Beautiful play by Paul Pierce.
Our first overtime clock at 36.5 seconds, 24 seconds with which to work on the shot clock. And Doug, a 2-for-1 now in front of the Chicago Bulls.
Well, this is what they did the other day. The Chicago Bulls got the ball quickly to Ben Gordon. He drove and made an incredible shot to give them a 2-for-1 possession in that game. They're in that same position here. Let's see either he or Rose, if they go get something quickly, so they can get another possession back.
Boston with a foul to give. 1 timeout for Chicago and 3 timeouts, including 2 20s for the Boston Celtics. Gordon defended by Allen. This is a 3 deflected by Allen, and that is a foul on Tony Allen with 27.3 to play in OT. Second on Allen. And Ben Gordon, 8 of 9 from the line, will be at the line for the Chicago Bulls.
And you say why? Why even risk? That's such a degree of difficulty shot. He has him buried, and then he gets his body, clearly got him with the body. And I think now they're going to make sure that he was behind the 3-point line. I mean, you look at him. You've got him dead here. Watch this. He picks up his dribble. He's out of rhythm. Watch this now. He stops. He's out of rhythm.
Clearly above the line, beyond the line.
I mean, there's no way in the world he could make that shot, and you foul him. And now you get a chance. More importantly, is a 3.3-second differential. So if he makes all three of these, now Boston, if they don't score, Chicago could get the last possession. So managing the clock and fouls and stuff. You talk about poise and big plays. It's how teams win and lose games.
Let's see if he went out of bounds, though. They're checking that as well. Nope. Let's see.
I think we'd have to see it from an angle down the sideline. I don't think we can see that, but I mean, you see Sean Corbin there. His big thing was. Boy, that
looks right on it.
It's hard to say.
That's the second time that Gordon has been fouled on a three-point shot tonight. Ray Allen did it to him back in the third. Gordon, 51 minutes on a bad hamstring with 24 points, 9 of 10 from the free throw line.
We might be in for a triple overtime tonight. Might be shades of what, 1976 with the Boston Celtics and the Phoenix Suns.
Marbury checks out. Big Baby Davis has come in for Boston. A little nervous here inside the goal. To top.
Remember, it's a 3.3-second differential. Now they put Doc Rivers put two big guys in there to be able to rebound the ball off the free throw. Not necessary.
Fourth overtime of this series. In the third different game, we're tied again at 104 with 27.3 to play. We were wondering here at courtside, and our guys in the trucks have dug this out. First playoff series with 3 overtime games. This has been something else. The defending champion Boston Celtics, the 2nd seed against the 7th seeded Chicago Bulls. Not since 1998 have we seen a 7 seed beat a 2 seed. That's when the New York Knicks, when they only played 5 games in the first round, took care of Miami 3 games to 2. Fouls to give. You see the timeout story. The Celtics with 2 at Boston. Watching just 1 for Chicago.
Now the thing about this is, you know they're probably going to go back to that play with Paul Pierce. And what Doc Rivers has done, he has Big Baby on the floor now instead of Tony Allen. So Big Baby's capable of making a 15, 16-foot jump shot. So you've got Rondo out there, Perkins, and Eddie House, who's a 3-point shooter. To give Paul Pierce a little space, you're not going to go back to that middle play that they've been running. Will the Bulls help out on that play? Will they try to trap him and double team him if he gets in that situation?
Noah and Thomas. Heinrich, Rose, and Selman. The Chicago 5. Doug just took it through Boston on the floor. Difference of 2 seconds. Game clock and shot clock winding down our first overtime. Heinrich will come out on Rondo. Selmans, as he has been this entire series, will be stuck on Paul Pierce. Pierce is 10 of 21.
See, Derrick Rose is stuck on Eddie House over here in this corner and trying not to give him any space.
It's Pierce. Is this the dagger? 3.4 to play. Paul Pierce with a huge shot. He's got 26. He's put in 6 in overtime. Boston by 2. 3.4 to play. Could that be the dagger for Boston?
Kevin, you keep wondering probably why I keep talking about Paul Pierce. With no Kevin Garnett, this is their guy. This is the guy that has to play great. No Ray Allen. It's got to be Paul Pierce. Very quiet in the first half, only 7 points. They win tonight. It'll be the only game they win in this series with him not having double digits at half. It's just going to be enough.
Paul Pierce has hit his last 5 shots. Moments ago, he hit a big one to give him a lead. But in the 4th quarter, with 10 seconds left, this is the shot that sent the game to overtime. Miller has come in for Tyrese Thomas. And now, moments ago, that Pierce shot right there, will that prove to be the game winner for the defending champion Boston Celtics?
Well, Brad Miller has subbed in. The Chicago Bulls want another shooter on the floor. And if you're Boston here, the last thing, you don't give up a three-point shot or foul a three-point shooter. A 2 obviously sends you into another overtime. A 3 beats you.
Timeout taken by Boston. They had 2 20s, and now they've got 1. Doug, you've been talking about Paul Pierce the entire series. And his numbers have not been glistening. But tonight, when it matters so much for these defending champs, he's come up with a huge fourth quarter and overtime period, 15 of his 26 in these 2 last periods.
Well, what he did in Game 3 in the first quarter, where he had his first 6 shots for 13 points, is what he's done here late. And he has been that security blanket for his team. Kevin, I talked about it before. It's like when your best player is playing well, you get a dose of confidence. And that's what's happened here with Paul Pierce over the last few minutes, especially the last 5 shots that he's knocked down. A lot of conversation here. Let me just tell you something. These teams are so well coached and scouted. There's nothing that these teams are going to do that they have not seen in preparation. The question is, can they execute it and get the shot they want?
It'll be Heinrich inbounding. Salmons, Miller, Rose, and Gordon. The Chicago 5. Marbury has come in the game. Miller, a wide open lane to the rack. Knocked away. There was a block.
Foul.
And a foul. And a foul. Was the shot. And they will take a look at it on the replay. Miller was really whacked. This is a pretty big review right here.
Well executed play. You see they switched it. Perkins see where he is. And nobody on Brad Miller takes it to the rack there. Very good. Was that the question? Is that wasn't goaltended, I don't think. Let's see.
The ball is away.
The ball was never touched. He actually shot an air ball on that free throw.
Right.
Or, excuse me, on that layup. Beautiful play here, though, that they run to slip the screen.
Clearly away.
You see Rondo look like he really cracked him across the mouth. Now, Brad Miller is a very good free throw shooter. Okay, one of the reasons they play him late in games is he's a good free throw shooter. On the season, he shot it well in this series. He's 85%. And on the season, he shot right at the same percentage. So you've got a big guy who can shoot free throws. Now, under pressure, we'll see if he can step up and knock 2 down.
May have lost a tooth as well. Might need some dental work when he gets back to Chicago.
Well, the Boston Bruins are loving this right now. The hockey guys, none of them got any teeth right now. They're Brad Miller. They got to be loving this.
The Chicago Bulls have hit their last 16 consecutive free throws. And at the line tonight, Doug, 27-30.
Now the key is here, Boston has a 20-second timeout, so even if he makes them both, they're going to be able to move the ball and be able to get the last shot.
Viewing the clock to see where the foul happened. You can see the 1:20 remaining for the Boston Celtics. Rondo has picked up his 4th personal foul.
I think Vinny Del Negro is wanting a flagrant foul. I think he's over there and said when he comes down and he swings, why is that not a flagrant foul? I was reading his lips here from across the court. I think he is really trying to bargain here for a flagrant foul. Let's see, Rondo goes up here. Ooh. And he hits him in the mouth there. The question is, was he going for the ball? I tell you what, that would have to be really, really flagrant at that situation for the referees to call that.
Lose 2 teeth, right?
Well, it's just, I mean, it would have to be blatant there on that play like that.
They're trying to get that blood stopped. And Miller saying, I've got it stopped.
See, he's got to shoot his free throws. Right. If he doesn't shoot his free throws, he can't play anymore the rest of the game. So if you sub in a free throw, and then what also happens is Doc Rivers gets to choose who shoots him. So Brad Miller's got to shoot these free throws.
90% in his career. And tonight, his first free throw attempt.
Now, Joakim Noah is in the game hoping for an offensive rebound. A lot of times you work on a play like this where you maybe screen across the lane, get somebody in there to free up an offensive rebounder. But right now the Boston Celtics have one thing on their mind. Brad Miller's got to miss this shot. Rondo and Marbury have to face guard and crash those boards and can't let Heinrich and Rose sneak in.
Missed on purpose.
Yeah, but he didn't hit the rim.
Right.
The ball has to hit the rim. So now if I'm Boston, I take timeout and move the ball. Chicago has no timeouts, so if they steal it, they've got to go length to the floor.
Boston takes their final timeout, which was at 20. Not even close.
You got to feel bad for Brad Miller, though. You step up the line like that. This is a guy who's really done a good job for this Chicago team. He missed that first free throw, and again, I talked about he's an 85% free throw shooter. But under pressure, how many we've seen Paul Pierce miss 2 critical ones in this series. We've seen Ray Allen miss 1. Under pressure, things change.
Celtics will inbound as you canvass the East brackets right now. We've got game 6 on TNT on Thursday. Orlando has taken a lead in that battle with Philadelphia, now leading 3 games to 2.
You get the ball in here to a good free throw shooter. Step up the line, make your free throws, you win the ball game. Kevin, I got to tell you, it looked like Boston was dead in the water in that fourth quarter. They made that little run. Ray Allen hit that 3 to make it 83-80. Fouled out on the next play with a double foul. I did not know if they had it in them to be able to find a way to win this game tonight.
Rondo to inbound. He won't be covered. Get off to Pierce. Touched by Tyrus Thomas from behind. Also guarded by Kirk Heinrich.
Paul Pierce says, I was shooting, I want 3 free throws. You're not going to get that one, Paul.
Paul Pierce hit the shot with about 10 seconds left at the end of regulation to put this game into its 4th overtime in this series. 4th different overtime in this series.
Look at this, watch he's lobbying like he hears the whistle. He's sort of smiling there, I want 3 shots. Not tonight, Paul. And even Doc Rivers wants 3.
Then Pierce hit the shot, which might be the game winner. Hit a big-time shot with just seconds left on the clock as Paul Pierce fans on the first. Tonight from the free throw line with his 26 points. He is 3 of 4.
I'm not sure you don't miss this one on purpose. They have no timeout. If you score and make this a 3-point game, the Bulls can throw the ball length to the floor and get off the 3-point shot. So if Paul Pierce can hit this rim and miss it, the game basically will end. So let's see if he can do what Brad Miller couldn't. Miss it on purpose, hit the rim, and the game will be over.
We dig. Davis has the ball, and the Boston Celtics will take a 3-2 lead in this incredible series. Yep, the heart is still beating for the NBA defending champions. Paul Pierce hits the game-winning shot with his 26. A terrific second half. He's standing by with our David Aldridge.
Oh, you were 6 of 17, and then you hit your last 5. What got you going?
Well, it was a game we desperately needed. I just felt the need to step up on my ball club. Haven't really been playing particularly well in this series. It's about time for me to start stepping up.
Defensively, Doc talked about it, Kevin talked about it. The whole fourth quarter was about defense for you guys. How did you get stops?
Well, we just grinded it out. You know, we dug in the half court. We got a couple steals. We rebounded the ball. We got on the break, got a couple easy ones, and that's what got us back in the game.
Now you go to Chicago, obviously up 3-2, but you guys have to be exhausted after playing 3 overtime games.
No way. This is fun. You know, this is what the postseason is all about. I mean, shoot, we can play 7 overtime games, but we want to get this done in 6.
All right, my man. All right. Back to you, Kevin.
Our producer tonight here at the Garden, Scott Cockrell, our director, Lonnie Dale, and special thanks to Jeff Paris, Tommy Heights, and Sam Polis. For Doug Collins and David Aldridge, Kevin Harlan saying good night from Boston, Massachusetts. where the Celtics have gone up 3-2 on Chicago, as we take you now to San Antonio. The Spurs and the Mavs. Here is Matt Devlin.